this break.
Go beyond the battle.
Get ready.
Destroy. Begin.
Let's go.
Disappear. Kneel. You do not have the strength to crush the spirit of the king.
All right. I really like to exercise, and training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death. 5 insect.
Pull out all the stuff.
Hadouken! Resurrection.
Right there, going nowhere.
Witness the power of the continental. This is the power of the king.
Street Fighter League Season 3 continues. We had an amazing under and main event today. I mean, personally, I just was happy to see Punk get some game in once again on the Street Fighter League set, along with 801 Strider, which I'm super happy to see back. We also had Toy going up against Just a Kid in an earlier undercard match.
Oh man, he put him in place real quick.
He definitely put him in place
real quick.
So let's talk about a little bit about that just from the beginning. Toy versus Just a Kid. Did that play out the way that you think? For me, I was looking at more of Just a Kid to run the jury, so I was already out right there. But what were some of your thoughts from it?
You mentioned it earlier. We both initially thought that Just a Kid was coming into the set with Jury. I think it would have been a lot closer than what we have seen. If anything, I think Just a Kid would have had... I thought he was going to beat Toy, honestly, if it was Jury versus Bison. I do like his Jury, the way he's been evolving that character. But again, we saw that Seth, and he's looking for the bigger picture, and we respect that, having that counter pick. But Toy, again, being the veteran that he is, talking that talk and making sure that he walks the walk as well. We get it, man. I mean, he is the father. He really is the father.
Chest out,
in that exhibition, he really put Just a Kid in place. It's like you still got a lot to learn in terms of understanding the mechanics of how Street Fighter V works, dissecting your characters, and learning these matchups. Because I just played fundamental Toy. I wasn't even playing like fundamental Street Fighter. I was playing fundamental Toy. I was getting in your head. I really didn't think it was going to be that raw, but, you know, again, it's a character that Just a Kid's still experimenting with, so shout outs to Toy for keeping him in check. I respect it.
This is an exhibition match, so, I mean, of course, there's some error to be like, you know what, let me see if this person knows this much. Let me get a read on their knowledge about these characters, the game overall, so that was really good. Once again, shout outs to both of those guys. Batoy was the winner of the set. Right after that, we had Punk go up against 801 Strider. Started off pretty clean for 801 Strider, and then Punk was like, oh yeah, I forgot, I'm the alpha. Turns it all the way back on. Running Seth himself on top, but we had 2 sets today. 2 sets today.
Right.
801 Strider, still rocking the G, but he's going up against Punk's Seth. I definitely did not see that coming, but even more so, the fact that Punk won, I'm not surprised. Just the fact that he has the ability to, you know, play these characters that fit him so well. All these different characters that he plays, he's able to kind of like, you know, turn them into something that he can use. Seth is no different. What are your thoughts about today's set?
Punk can play anybody. I'm pretty sure we all know that at this point. 2, if they ever fight, which they will in the season for Season 3, let's talk about the matchup. Alpha 3 versus All In. If you look at it per player, I think the best shot that All In might have against someone like Punk is trying to match up Idom against him, right? Because historically, you saw what happened to Capcom Cup, right? So I think it'll come down to really reading what the lineup is going to be like. Player order is going to be absolutely vital in that specific matchup when it comes to Alpha 3 versus Team All In.
Well, we're definitely going to get there. We're definitely going to see that match this season on Street Fighter League, so I can't wait to get there. But to let you know who else we might be seeing during Street Fighter League, I'm going to run down these teams one more time. We're going to start with Team Nasser joining Street Fighter League for the first season, and they're bringing Big Bird and Angry Bird, and joined by someone who was infamous in Street Fighter League, Samurai. Of course, we have UYU joining, and that's going to be Oil King, NL, and Kami. All In will consist of Idom, Phenom, and 801 Strider. Alpha 3, we just saw the Captain Punk with CJ Truth and Nephew. Psycho Shinobi will be Hot Dog, Infectious, and Shin. And then, of course, Team Dynamite will be Problem X, Knuckle Doo, and Smug. And personally, man, I really can't wait till we get to the main part of the season and we get a chance to see these guys tear each other apart.
No, I'm absolutely excited. We have so many weeks of Street Fighter to watch, and it's going to be one of those things where it's like we're watching a premiere event every single week because of the talent involved.
Team Alpha 3. We saw Punk earlier today. How do you think his team is going to do overall versus CJ Truth, a Nephew? I mean, we already seen, you know, Punk kind of set the pace with the win over 801 Strider, which I feel like is a big win considering the team that he's on, right? Because now we know that Punk can definitely take out 801 Strider, not with his main, but with a side character.
Who would you actually ban for either of these teams? I personally wouldn't go for Punk, and I wouldn't go for Idom.
I wouldn't either. I would not either. But I said this last season. I was like, I would never ban Punk. I want him to play his character because then I know exactly who I can go after, right? Like in all honesty, Punk is the byproduct. If I'm in this competition, I'm saying, well, look, we could or could not beat Punk. There's no reason in wasting a ban on him. Let's 100%. Go to somebody that we know would have a harder time switching those characters. That's why I feel like All In is very strong, right? Because like All In has Idom, they all have basically 2 characters at this point. And 801 Strider being the loosest of that one, he still has a Lucia and possibly Allura.
Yikes.
So like, think about that.
All right, pick one. All In, who would you ban?
Who would I ban? I ban Strider. Free. I would ban Strider free.
I do like that as well.
Think about it just like this, right? 801 Strider, you have to fight that team. Idom, you know he's gonna pull out Laura or Poison.
Yes.
That's a guaranteed thing. You don't even have to worry about it. Phenom is another thing. You don't want to ban any of his characters. He's too good. You gonna give him a reason to pick Guile? You gonna give him a reason to switch characters? No, I'm gonna let him rock. I would have a much better understanding of the matchup, knowing he would pick one of the other 2 characters. 801 Strider, on the other hand, I get to him and I'm like, well, I don't even look. As much as I don't like fighting G, I can handle G because I fight Gs, right?
Yeah, the neutral game is so much, it's a drastic difference between what Laura can do in neutral and what G can do in neutral. And the amount of robbery that G has compared to Laura off of a command grab is way different circumstances. Now let's switch over to Alpha 3. I'm gonna say on the count of 3, you give us your pick, or we'll give our
who
picks
I would ban on Alpha 3?
Yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nephew.
CJ Truth. I like that. I like that a lot. Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
So we've seen CJ Truth play Cammy a lot. We've seen him kind of try out his secondaries in Season 2. He hasn't had too much success with it. But Nephew, I feel like we mentioned how much of a sponge he is and being able to adapt on the fly. I think he also has had a lot of practice with secondaries. And if anything, he could go to, a character like G if he needs to. And G he's G. He's a very, very solid character, very competent character.
I'm going to aim for Nephew, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like, CJ Truth is good, but that's a character that we've been fighting Cammy since Season 1.
And she's still great.
She's still good, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. But I hear what you're saying about the fact that, CJ Truth he's more focused on Cammy. I feel like if I put Nephew in the hot seat, that he's more likely to fold than CJ Truth. That's just me though.
Word.
And I don't mean like fold as in like I'm gonna take him out. I mean as in like if I can get him flustered or if I can get him, I know what I'm dealing with on the other end.
Okay.
I'm not worried about like, we took out what's the name in his main character, but we didn't stop these other two. Now it's like literally like, well look, we're probably gonna have to fight a Karen. We're probably gonna have to fight a Cammy, but we have this one. We have this one, and now we can make our plan based off of that.
Fair.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
it's a two-pronged approach. You can definitely do both of those things, and who knows? We both actually still might lose. The fact of the matter is that that's a part of the Season 3, plan, right? As a captain, you have to worry about the matchups. You have to worry about the players. And even as a player, you have to worry about those matchups. You're looking at who can play what and who's going to have to deviate. And even the strategy between us is different, where you're like, well, hey, look, I'm just going to hit Knuckle Dude. I'm like, well, I'm just going to hit
I'm
Nephew.
thinking about it on paper, whereas I'm not thinking about the characters and how solid they are, or the players and how solid they are with their own mains, right?
Yeah.
So it's different kind of levels we're thinking about. So
And that's what you get.
That's the best part
That's
about
the
it.
best part. I keep trying to tell people, like, it's more than just looking at these characters. It's more than just being like you're looking at these players. You have to do that together, and then you have to have a team to back that up. And I feel like that's one of the best examples we have. These teams are like composed so well. The international pool does so much to add a little flavor to what Street Fighter League is, and I personally cannot wait. And with that being said, I feel like we were talking way too much. We got pretty deep in there. We got pretty deep in there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But next week we have our undercard and main event matches just to go over them one more time. Mr. Crimson will be going up against Luffy in our first undercard match. The main event will be Problem X versus Infectious, and I guarantee you guys do not want to miss it.
former Evo champion, knows what it takes to succeed, and just having that kind of, like the amount of accolades he's had since Street Fighter 5, or even 4, right, into Street Fighter 5, is going to be kind of like a tall order for Mr. Crimson, right? I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to be able to do it. It's just going to be very, very, very difficult with the likes of 1, Luffy, great mind of Street Fighter, 2, R. Mika versus Dawson. It's kind of problematic.
But that's the undercard. The main event will be Problem X versus Infectious. Problem X is an Evolution champion, one of the best players in the world. You will never hear me say anything different. I've seen this dude play so many characters. I am so interested to know what he's going to do in a format like Street Fighter League. But he's going up against the Alchemist, I like to call him, man.
Alchemist.
Infectious, bro. This dude can make something out of nothing, and when he understands it, he talks about it like it was born to him. Like he instantly knew it. He is so good at breaking down matchups, understanding his character, and on top of that, he has such a cool, calm demeanor that it's really hard to get a rise out of him.
It's intimidating.
It's so intimidating that literally, if you go back and watch his Red Bull Kumite entrance, he walked down a line of people and left everybody hanging. He was just walking. It was like a Spike Lee movie. He was just walking and nobody touched him. It was crazy, but that's what you get from a player like him. And it's not only outside the game, it's inside the game. That's the exact kind of gameplay that he gives you. That stone, stoic, robotic gameplay, that's what you get from Infectious. He operates like a computer. He knows exactly what he's trying to do. And personally, that versus Problem X,
it's going to be a good amount of information without a doubt. Again, I want to see how these two teams duke it out. Infectious versus Problem X. Again, it brings to the table what is Infectious going to do if he's ever a target of the ban. And again, if he gets to play his main character, how will he do against a team captain like Problem X?
That's another question. I think that's something we need to ask them. I mean,
We'll think about it for a solid week.
We definitely need to ask them that ourselves. And you guys should be asking, where else should you be instead of watching Street Fighter League? And this is only the preseason. This is all speculation. This is what we write down on a piece of paper to be thrown away later, only for the show to be that much better. That's what Street Fighter League is. I really hope you enjoyed this week's show. This is still the preseason. We will see you guys next week.
Everything works.
If you would have got hit with that DP, that was it.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome. It's Thursday night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us here on Capcom Fighters for Fighting Words, the weekly roundup show where we talk about everything Street Fighter V. Of course, it's been a very, very big week for North America in particular. We're going to be talking about the NA East 2 tournament and the new name added to the list with the greatest of ease. Smug is going to be going to Capcom Cup. Of course, there was also a tremendous showing in terms of charity events organised by the community this past week. You had Alpha Check, you had the Adorama tournament, and you also had a very strong showing from the West Coast in the SFL preseason events as well, with Punk going against 801 Strider, which hopefully you have just seen prior to this show going on there. But we're going to kick it off with the most important thing to talk about this week, which is, of course, NA East 2. How did you enjoy that, sir?
Very much so. You know, it's an event that was filled with drama on the first time around.
But good drama this time, though, right?
Well, the first time around, like I said, it was always good drama for me because drama's entertaining, right? But I think a bit less emotionally dramatic on this occasion and just filled with extremely high-level play. I've actually watched it back, I think 3 times now. The first time, obviously, all the way through live. The second time, spent a lot of time just looking at play and replaying it. Then the third time, just picking my favourite sets and watching. It was full of just amazing Street Fighter play. And I'll tell you what, I think the outcome is going to be one that the fans are super fond of. Yeah. The one and only, postulating the possibilities, making his way and booking his place at Capcom Cup, Smug the Beast. I think that's a great result.
Doing the whole thing through winners as well. Really impressive.
Did he use, because you were following a lot of the streams, like the restreams before Top 16. Yeah. Did he use G at any point? Or was
he used G a couple of times.
Okay, cool.
He used G against OG Killer Cam.
Got you.
Kuma. He used G against Sabin, Dalsim. I think there was one other as well. Oh, he used G against Charles 233 as well, so he didn't have to play the mirror match.
I think I did.
G just...
That's a tough match.
Absolutely pulls Boxer apart. So
I love seeing him revert more like primarily to Boxer. I think there's been a long period where he's been kind of primarily a G and whipping out Boxer occasionally. But seeing him primarily Boxer, and I think Boxer is so slept on. I mean, we saw it in was it South American CPT where all those boxers were in top 8, but
what? Yeah, that's fine. Let's leave it.
You know what, guys? We're just gonna keep this part in. I've just been told that Jammers' name is on the F word. Yeah. And you know what? Don't even edit this out. Keep it in there because I have to give a massive shout out to Jammers. Me being the F Meister, Jammers covered my ass the other day. So I guess I am Jammers for now because he's the man at the moment. So switch that to F word. Goddammit! Come on, man.
What did he have to cover for? What happened? So because obviously you were enjoying the tournament live, as you said. You've watched it so many times.
Yes, I was enjoying the tournament live, but actually I was on was it Myzesto versus Terrence, and that match was super intense. I was getting into it. I was like, Honda in top 16, this is sick. And that's the last thing I saw. Can't remember anything else after that.
Caught a couple of episodes of the inside of my eyelids.
I was just seeing sheeps like jumping over clouds and then
dive kicking in.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have to travel an hour and a half to get here, and by the time I woke up I was like an hour and a half away.
Who doesn't have to travel an hour and a half to get to the
show? It's
studio?
not an excuse, but obviously in that scenario I would have just come down. But
basically,
Jammers, my man.
He slept through the show.
The one and only Jammers came through for me, so Jammers, thank you for covering F words.
It's really nice of you to say that you're going to donate your wages from this show as well to Jammers as a thank you. I think that's really good.
Jammers has already, made my wage from that day, isn't it? So he's laughing, isn't he?
Yeah, but what about
actually the visual platform guy said they were going to pay him a time and a half for the last minute.
Yeah, out of your salary.
No, I don't remember that part. No,
well, we had the discussion. You might not have been here. I think maybe you were asleep. So we made a group decision, and we got Capcom to verify it as well.
No, I don't remember that. No. I've got to sign off. Didn't sign off on that. So Jammers, you know what? If you want, I'll take you to see a movie or something. Good old homies. Yeah.
Tenet's out.
Bit of anime. Any anime movies out? No, Jammers likes his anime.
Bloody no.
Oh yeah, of course you don't, Logan. Yeah, of course he doesn't. He doesn't like anime, does he? Anyway, back to the tournament. Thanks for fixing that. I think a result for the people, a result for all the Street Fighter fans out there, and a super exciting addition to the Capcom Cup finals.
Yeah, I think if you look at the final 4 that were in there, it was pretty much what we'd expect to see. Maybe not in that order.
It was a lot more to plan than the last one.
Everything was a lot more to plan.
A lot more to plan. Yeah.
In terms of results and also how the tournament went in terms of just running the tournament.
Yep.
So yeah,
I mean that's no insult to guys like Metro M making their run last time. It's just it's just these are the names that we kind of called. And you know what, Logan, I've got to say again, I'm on a 100% call rate at the moment because I did say
in your dreams you called that one.
CJ Truth or Smug the Beast was my call.
Wow,
and I saved Smug last, which because it was ultimately my main call. And here I am again, 100% three tournaments in a row. I'm the guru. It's official. Amazing. Smug, thanks for proving me right,
Do you know who
mate.
did pick Smug and only Smug?
Who's that?
The real anchor of this show,
dude.
Jammers.
Oh, really? Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, can't say no to that. Yeah. No, but I mean, if I was going to pick one of the three,
I thought Dew was going to run it back through losers, and he almost did. But it was at the end, as he said, the final 4 players that were in the tournament were probably the 4 favourites, and it kind of shows you that the seeding was done really well. Everything worked itself out. How cool was it to have Knuckle Dew back and competing? And he was looking super strong, utilising his full array of characters, which is one of the things that makes him one of the most dangerous players in the world, not only in tournament format, but obviously going into SFL. Like, how do you deal with this man in an SFL format? What are you banning? Which one of his 7 characters are you banning? It doesn't matter.
I hope he's taking positivity away from this, because obviously he's a qualifier, traditionally. He's an ex-champion. I hope he's not taking it too hard that he hasn't made it, because he made a really good showing of himself, especially as he's not been as active as he usually is. And I'll tell you one thing that's a massive disadvantage, clearly, playing against Smug on a regular basis, against Knuckle Dew on a regular basis, and then playing him in tournament, it's clearly a huge disadvantage, because Rob TV looked helpless against that guy.
I actually watched that through Rob's stream, and it was... There wasn't really anything he could say about it.
He just knows him very well.
He just got outplayed thoroughly in that, and Dew was looking tremendously strong. I have to say, I want to give a big shout out to Shine for his performance this weekend. I know he was feeling it. Second is like, who did I see? I think it was Big Bird that said, like, finishing second in the CPT Onlines must be like finishing 9th at Evo.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's the most brutal thing that you can imagine.
He had
you
match
get
point
nothing for second, but he played so well. I mean, he went 2-0 up against Smug in winners' finals.
He had match point against Smug in winners' final.
Yeah,
it was such a good position. But yeah, it just.
And I can't even identify anything that went particularly wrong for him. Like, it's not like he was winning and then suddenly just made a catalogue of errors.
No.
Just Smug just stepped it up to another level next gear, and credit to Shine as well for fighting his way back to grand finals as well.
His sets with CJ Truth were just like an absolute delight. Being a player in that matchup, like honestly, the way those 2 played, that was super fun. And honestly, getting Smug in the grand final, I know they don't necessarily play that matchup as much these days, but they've played. You watch NLBC like last year, and they were playing that matchup every single week, and it can easily just happen that way. Not to take anything away from Smug, but I could easily see it going the other way round on a certain week, because they just play each other that much, and it was Smug's night. He was just too good on the night for everyone, really.
I'm very happy to say that Smug is going to be taking part at Capcom Cup. He is there exactly all the way through winners, and we got some words from the man himself. So let's hear from Smug live from his house. Well, not live because we recorded it, but direct from his house. And we'll throw in some of their best bits as well, because what a great weekend he had. So impressive. Let's hear from Smug himself about his performance, and also the player that he is going to vote for into that last spot for Capcom Cup. Very interesting. Let's hear it. Smug, take it away.
You know what? The way it was looking, so I didn't really expect me to qualify for Capcom Cup, because there's only like 2 people from the East Coast that can qualify, and it's like at least 10 killers in the East Coast, so it was kind of hard, you know what I mean? Like, I actually liked Knuckle Dew. I thought he had a better chance than me to qualify. Like, I was expecting Knuckle Dew, but because of the Mandrake qualifying, so then I was like, dag, all right, like, congrats to Mandrake, but now it's like, wow, it's going to be even harder next time. You're going to have Knuckle Dew, me, Shine, CJ Truth. You're going to have all kinds of players that's going to be fighting for that one spot. So I thought my chances were even lower now that Knuckle Dude didn't qualify for the first half. It was good to see him in the tournament. I know he took a break for his reasons and stuff, so it was really good. Like when I saw him in the bracket, I was like, oh, Knuckle Dude is here. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? It kind of gave me more motivation to try harder. You know what I mean? Because he gave me more motivation to try harder because, like, you see his name in the bracket now, so it's like, oh, all right, he's trying to fight for that title too, so it made me more competitive myself. So.
Power to the earth! Light it up. I have the power of the earth! Sorry! You like rubber! Power to the earth! Light it up. I have the power of the earth!
My hardest match? Matter of fact, my hardest match was definitely... It was a couple. So my first match was against OG Killer Cam, Akuma player, very strong from the East Coast. And I almost lost my first match. I almost did. And he was just playing godlike, so I ended up clutching that out. And then Arturo, that was another person that I almost lost as well. Then I just clutched it out. And one of my hardest ones, probably Shine. Yeah, I'll say Shine. Because usually I lose to Shine a lot. Like back like in like the previous seasons from like season 3, 4, he kept beating me, and then now with this V-Skill 2, it's a whole different Balrog, because V-Skill 1 is kind of like, it's a bad matchup for like Ibuki. It can't really do too much, straights are not safe. Ibuki can punish it at all ranges. I can't use my overhead at all because he can react. He has very good reactions. So it's like, well, I can't even use my moves. And he could just make me play his game. So with V-Skill 2, now I can play neutral a lot better. All I could do is just wait for whiff punishes, and I look for more mistakes. See, because now his V-Skill 2, you don't have to charge. See, before you had to charge all his moves, but now because it's a non-charge, once the V-Skill's activated, it made so many matchups a lot easier. So... the way I use V-Skill 2 with Balrog, the way I used it is I like to whiff punish people using his jabs, like his crouch jab, his stand jabs, and crouch and medium punch. I think that's his best footsie tool with that V-Skill 2. It has very good range and is quite active. So there's so many times where people whiff a lot of normals on Balrog especially, but because he's not a charge character, they don't really have that many risks. But now with that charge, V-Skill, you don't have to charge straight. It's a back forward motion. So I just can buffer crouch and medium punch, back forward punch, and then the straight comes out. And then that's how I get a lot of my Oki and a lot of my damage from. So I feel like it's very good to buffer jabs a lot. It's very good. It's very good. Yeah, because I'm like, well, people are just going to block anyway. As soon as you activate V-Skill 2 with Balrog, people are now just going to run away. So it's like, I don't like wasting my resources because you're going to block anyway, and I'm not going to really get anything from that. So I like to optimize. Like, I like to be very optimal. Like, I wait for the person's mistake. I will sit all day and literally wait until you make that mistake, and then I'm going to capitalize on that punish with that V-Skill 2. Yeah, because like, I remember Street Fighter 4, one of my training partners when I was on Team Pi was Zeus. And I used to literally only rush down was Dudley, and he taught me patience. He taught me how to play with the time on the clock. Like, he would literally play, and he would just play and wait until the time runs out. So playing him all the time, you know how many matches where we just timed each other out? So it was like, you know what? It made me a strong player because now playing with him all the time, doing nothing in neutral, and we just waiting for mistakes, it will help you, especially playing a character that's very explosive like Dudley. That's how Dudley players usually lose. They usually lose to themselves. So I feel like there's some times where you just got to approach it differently. You just wait until the other person makes the mistake, and then you start your pressure. That's why it's just like Idom. He plays Laura. A lot of Laura players are very impatient. They're very impatient in their gameplay, and those are the Laura players that you could just wait until they make the mistakes. But Idom is a very patient player, and he waits until you make the mistakes using Laura, and then he starts his pressure. So, you know, I feel like I use the same thing with Dudley, and I do the same thing with Balrog. So
confirm. Sits poking away.
Yeah. Has not even been able to build charge, by the way, before here he comes on to trigger. Really? Okay, sick. I love the challenge in that instance.
Taking his turn back, but the dash up command grab the illegal corner. He's got to hold this pressure right here. If Smuggles can keep it on. Activation, the disco. Assist me.
Ooh, the jab, the gutsy jab.
Rush. Go to press the button.
Wow. Okay, I love the chase down at the end. No buttons possible. Chooses to press. Oh, did you see where he walked back off to? It was just outside of that crouching fierce. Genius.
Disco didn't even get the land. Smug with the upper.
Okay,
Whoa, that
is. Okay, nice. Slight walk. I love it.
the fadeaway. One more hit to do it. Activation.
Smug.
Well, to determine if I want to use G or Balrog, so when I was in pools, I had to play OG Killer Cam. I can use Balrog, but I feel like G, my strategy I had was I'll just play the neutral all day. And I feel like if I can make Akuma struggle in neutral with his very powerful V-trigger, then I'll be all right. See, with Balrog, I can only play neutral and his V-trigger is not that strong. In Akuma, he pretty much bodies Balrog in neutral, so it wasn't a really good matchup. So that's why I'll just choose G for Akuma. When I played Arturo, he plays Dawson. And I can play Balrog, but I feel like against Art, he has very good defense and stuff. So I feel like having a command grab for G is very important against somebody like Arturo, you know. And one hit confirm or one conversion from G, you get a lot more rewarded than with Balrog, you know. And then like in top 8, I just stuck with Balrog because for Ibuki, I feel like she destroys G. Like, it's too much for G to react to. It's too much for him to worry about. That jump EX kunai is too much, you know? So, and he doesn't have a 3-frame. So playing against Ibuki, she's just gonna spam stand medium kick, medium kick, medium kick, no pushback. I just gotta look at that. Like, it's his turn, and then when he does medium kick, it's his turn again. I'm not doing that, nah. So with Balrog, at least he has a 3-frame, so I can check a little bit of certain pressures, you know, that Ibuki players do. Same with Cammy. When I had to play Dan Slip, and with G, I said, well, I could win neutral, but the way Dan Slip plays, he doesn't usually focus on neutral. He likes to go ham. He likes to rush G players down. So why would I make his life easier? I could just play Balrog. I have a 3-frame, and I could just use V-Skill too. So I could try to fight the neutral.
And Smug now back to this style. I love the boxer style where you're slow and patient, but that said, he's getting kicked in the face. And the opening? Not
didn't confirm. A little bit of a drop possibly there. Not sure why, but Smug needs to work his way out of the corner. 20 seconds on the clock, winding down the interruption on the EX. EX coming through the skies, and the crush, the follow-up.
It's not enough. Dan Slip could definitely sneak in there. He's not gonna, though. Classic. Hard. Would have been hard. Would have been hard to do, but man, that would have been nice to see.
What an anti-air.
Oh, nothing.
Dan Slip, didn't you see that he had the meter? Didn't you see that you could have just challenged either way? It didn't matter. V-Skill coming through with a great life, but it doesn't matter. Smuggles, he's going in. -2, good challenge by Dan Slip. But he needs a lot more.
He really needs one entrance into just a couple mix-ups. What? Wow.
$3
Super
shape
sick
up.
read. Dan Slip immediately back on the pressure, and Smug still trying to get out of that situation. So we're seeing a little bit of, I don't know, maybe just wrong reads in defense here, but I'm more accustomed to seeing him be patient. Here he is.
But here's the aggression right here. Raw straight.
Yo, okay.
Yo, the Dempsey roll, here we go. Put her in that
got
bus.
murdered, yeah, definitely. So strongly that the dash throw came in instead.
I love how he's able to dive kick too, just right to the distance. But here we go, the hooligan gets interrupted. He was aware. It hasn't came out until now.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I would think that Smug would be ready for the hooligans, for the Dan Slip kind of play. And he's really forcing a more traditional style, and that is not what Danslip has wanted so far. Smug takes the second game as well. Activated. What range on the roundhouse. Moving slowly backwards, ready for the anti-air with Smug, and guess what? Now, just like that, Danslip is the one who's in the corner. Smug backs off.
Walk up crush.
Interesting timings here for Smug. Sometimes he's so slow and patient and he's backed off, and sometimes he's just in your face instantly. Just
Nap
like this.
time.
And it's a perfect again, and it's match point for Smug. Into it. He wanted the corner. It didn't quite work out. Knocking, and then Smug just backs off. Here he comes.
The activation. Yo, ref. Where's the ref?
Wow.
EX to do it, Smug.
When I played El Chocotaco, I originally was going to go with G because we play a lot of casuals, you know. We didn't play too much this season, but back in like season 3, season 4, we used to play all the time, you know, and usually we do like a 1st to 5, and if I play G, I win probably like 5-3 or something like that. But with Balrog, I get completely mauled. So I didn't understand. I was like, so I could play G in a long set, but it's not like convincingly. But with Balrog, he completely bodies me because once he gets in, it's just over. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, this is tournament. I remember at April Annihilation, I believe, I played El Chocotaco with my G in a 2 out of 3, and he completely 2-0'd me. It was free, you know. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go with Balrog, and I'll try V-Skill 2. And he never played my V-Skill 2 with Balrog, so I wanted to try that out. And I just was labbing it out, and I just felt more confident with Balrog's V-Skill 2. The matchup got harder for Mika only because of Balrog's V-Skill 2. I can charge. She has a hard time trying to hit me out of me charging up for V-Skill 2. See, with V-Skill 1 against Mika, that gets, if I misspace it, I'm done. Or if I whiff it, he can whiff punish easily. So I can't even use it. I can't even overhead Mika. So I'm like, well, I can't even use this V-Skill. It's kind of like it makes his pressure get started faster. So I thought about it. I was like, I can just fight El Chocotaco in neutral if I could just keep it there. But V-Skill 1, he has an easier chance getting his pressure started with Mika, so I couldn't have that with V-Skill 2. So I didn't really enter a lot of online tournaments because obviously lag comes into play, you know, but also I was just grinding. I didn't want to like enter every week. I was just like studying matchups, just studying players, and see, okay, all right, this is this, okay, all right, cool. You know, I always watch Next Level, I always support them, you know. It's just that I don't enter every week. You know, they have it every Wednesday, but I'll enter when I can. And I was just mostly in the lab, that's all. Like, I learned so much watching, like, tournaments. I learned, like, this character struggles against this character, you know. Like, I'm like, wow, you know, I do my research a lot, and with that's what I was basically doing. So the first CPT for the East Coast, I lost. I lost to Spaceboy and Winners, and then I lost to CJ Truth and Losers. So ever since then, I was just in the lab. I said, all right, I'm not going to enter any tournaments. I'll just stream, yes, for the people that want to still watch me play. But like when it comes to tournaments and stuff, I'll just wait until the next CPT so I can still grind out and just lab everything out. And I felt like that was more important, you know. I just felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't ready to even enter locals. I wasn't ready for anything. So I sat down, have like a couple of partners. I just invited everybody. Like, just because I don't enter the tournament, it doesn't mean we can't play a set. You know, if you want to play a set, you can always message me. I'm cool. You know what I mean? It's just that with tournaments, I was very strategic. I took my time, and I was just labbing everything, you know. So yes. So when it came to the tournament for the online CPT for the second one, I felt more confident because people haven't heard of me in a long time. So with that being said, I was under the radar. You know, it's just like, Smug is in the tournament. He entered. So, you know, I don't want it where you can look at footage from last week. You're like, let's see how he's playing. And you look at me at Next Level, and then you say, that's what he did. Oh, he can't do this. He can do that. Okay, all right. I haven't really entered too many tournaments this year, so it's not that much footage you can catch of me. So that's why I was always in the lab. You know, that's it. I was just in a lab with V-Skill 2 this whole time, but then, you know, I played people in sets. you know, we're just having casuals. You know, if you want to learn the matchup, we'll learn. I'll pick all variations. You know, we'll talk about it. We'll lab it. So, but just in tournament, I just have to take my time. I have to take a break and just say, all right, well, I'll just keep playing casuals, just understand every matchup. So that was what I did.
Yeah? Is he 2 for 2? He is.
Oh, and the bait the punish. Okay.
Yep, ready there. Hoping for the crush, nothing came. Shot. Oh, he tried. There it is. He tried it again. Crouch medium pick confirmed. Into pressure. Where is he? Well, wherever it was gonna be didn't matter. It was a 3-frame wake up there for Smug and turns it into the victory.
This entire time, plus frames backdash. What a read. Only got hit with the low a little bit. No big deal. Not a lot of damage. Smug now going with the back throw that time. EX to the corner. And the shimmy, the bait, the bite, the buffet of damage. Almost a stun and it's done. Goes with the V-Skill to make sure that, oh no, he's the bar, but it doesn't matter.
You know, now that I qualified, it's still like every time when I wake up, because usually when I wake up, I get on Street Fighter and then I would just like go to the lab. So it was almost like a force of habit where after when I won the tournament and qualified, I literally woke up and I was like, oh man, I got to prepare for this tournament. Then I just remembered that I qualified. So it's still like, it's still a new feeling. It's still a little weird, you know, but it feels really good. It feels really good to qualify, get that out the way. But now, because of that, now I'm gonna start doing more content on my platform, on my YouTube, and streaming more. So it's a lot more goals now that I'm going to do. I'm going to be playing different video games, different content. I'm going to do a lot of stuff. Just, you know, stay tuned for that. That's all. Well, so far, the person that I want to play that is SKZ, I believe, the Seth player, and I've watched. I was watching some of his gameplay, and it's pretty solid. I would like to play him sometime. You know, if we run into the Capcom Cup, you know, I'll be prepared for that. You know, but the person that I'm really intimidated about. I think there's nobody free in Capcom Cup. I'm not gonna lie, like everybody is a tryhard. Like, yo, like it ain't nobody. You got Daigo, Idom, you got Phenom, you got Mandrake. You got to deal with a Urian in Capcom Cup. Okay, you got so many people. So I think everybody's a threat that's currently in Capcom Cup. So. There's not somebody that I am not afraid of. I'm afraid of everybody.
Still needs another mix-up. On the other side, great blocks. My man mashed out. Smug at the bar going to super.
Wow.
Gets a command grip.
It's a lot of caution areas. And here it is. In fact, they both used it. I almost feel like Shine was happy to see that V-Skill 2 charge. He got some Kunais back.
He needs that resource, right? Ibuki needs that resource to continue that pressure. Look at the damage going.
Super!
Look at the damage! That's enough to do it! Shine!
So Street Fighter League is coming up, and first of all, I'm glad that they are going to make a sequel. They're going to do another season of Street Fighter League. So I think that's going to be very interesting. You know, due to a lot of players that cannot fly out, there's going to be like a substitution of players and stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting Street Fighter League, you know, and I feel like these teams are going to be interesting. You know, it's just so many players, so many people that are hungry right now. So I feel like from the previous Street Fighter League that I have been on, you need more than one character, because let you get banned. Let your main character get banned and you don't have a secondary, you're done. You know, so that's what it matters at this point. So it's better to pick up players that have at least two options. Like, if you play more than one character, like if you have two characters, you're pretty much aight, you know what I mean? But I think the more the better. Like, if you have up to 3 characters, like 3 to 5, the more the better, obviously. But if you have like 3 characters, I think you would do pretty well in Street Fighter League. So I think like I'm going to be on teams with NuckleDu. So with that being said, NuckleDu, you don't know who he's going to pick. It's kind of like a waste of ban for him. It's like he plays Guile, G, Mika, Cammy. Come on, like he plays too many characters, you know. So I feel like somebody like him is very useful on the team, you know. So But if he only played Gao, I could ban Gao, then who he gonna play? Like, I'm just gonna beat him, you know? So that's why it's good to pick somebody that has more than one character option. So Street Fighter League is gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, and I'm waiting for it. So I feel like when I was at Capcom Cup last year, my performance wasn't the greatest because I beat Bonchan 3-2, then I lost to John Tekuichi 3-2 as well, and then I lost to Nemo 3-1. I felt like my performance, it could have been a little stronger. I felt after when I watched my matches, because, you know, I'm pretty sure majority of the top players, including myself, after when we lose a match, we like to rewatch it, you know? And I noticed so many mistakes in my gameplay that that could have been avoided, you know? So I feel like it just made me a stronger player looking at my matches from Capcom Cup, you know? But overall, I felt like they gave me more recognition because, you know, first of all, I qualified for Capcom Cup. That's a very hard achievement. People don't know how hard it is to qualify for Capcom Cup, all of these tryhards in these tournaments. Like, you see my face expression right now, like, I'm just thinking about the tryhards that I played in my past to get to where trust me, it's not easy. It's really not. But with Capcom Cup, that was like obviously the biggest tournament of the year, and it just makes you a stronger player after when you lose, you know, and you just look back at your matches. There's a lot to learn. I feel like it's more to learn losing your matches than winning your matches. You know, if you lose your match and you rewatch it, you're watching because you want to learn from your mistakes. When you watch of your winning, you just want to see, oh dang, how did I do it again? How did I cook? Oh man, let me watch that again. It's more of like a bragging rights when you watch a match, like the ones that. So that's why I feel like it's more to learn when you lose your matches. You know, that's why I like losing more than winning, because it's just more collab. It's more like, oh, okay, I lost because of this. Well, let's prevent that next time. When you win, it's like, oh, that's how I cooked them? Okay, cool. And that's it. You didn't learn anything. You're just watching like how you cook them. You're not watching your mistakes when you won. So
instead, here he is.
Rush caught impressive after that EX. Unfortunate. There's the stun. Not the damage, but not enough to kill, but this will. This absolutely will.
Not quite there. And he just wants to get rid of the stun. That was a solution for Smug, and he comes in.
It's done. Smug takes the first one.
I think that now with this pandemic, it made so many players stronger, because now that you're home, a lot of locals are closed down. Everything's online, and the majority of the stuff is online now. I think people got better because of that. You know, everybody's home now just grinding all day. They're just practicing and leveling up, including myself. You know, I feel like I became a better player now that everything was closed and I was just stuck at home, you know. So I feel like I have more time to practice. See, before I used to travel all the time, so it was like I traveled to a tournament from like Thursday, get there Friday. The tournament's on the weekend from like Saturday, Sunday. I get back home Monday night, so I don't really train on Monday. I only train like Tuesday and Wednesday. That's pretty much it. Wednesday I barely train because I have the local next level battle circuit, so pretty much like Tuesday or maybe a little bit on Thursday. But now that I'm home, I'm not really traveling, you know, I have a lot more time to practice, you know. Yeah, I feel like now that because everybody's home, I feel like it is easier now to learn a lot of matchups from different characters. Before you only had to go to a tournament to play a matchup. I thought so too. That's why people started traveling, because you wanted to play against all of the top players. But now that everybody's online, you can play on PC. Look what happened. I see Punk playing Nemo on PC. He had to go to Japan to play Nemo, but now he's at home. You know what I mean? Playing Nemo on the PC. Like, I want to do that. Let me get a PC. Shoot, I didn't play him yet, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you have options now. Not everybody's home. You know, there's people that just really you can lab with. You know, I've been playing so many players now that I'm home. Like, you know how many Urians I play? I learned that matchup now. Before, I didn't really get a chance to, because one, I was barely home, and it was like a lot of them, they were traveling too. They were working all the time, so it was kind of hard to learn matchups from the best players, you know. I feel like the best players are the busiest players. It's very weird. I'm like, how are you this good, but you're the busiest person? You barely play the game. It's very weird. I don't know. Like Gustavo, he works all the time, but he's one of the best players. You know what I mean? I'm thinking it's backwards. I'm thinking if you work more, shouldn't your skill be not as high as the person grinding as much? You know what I mean? It's very backwards. So that's why I find it cool. See, that is very helpful, you know, the way Gustavo, he doesn't really play rank, because I understand rank is very toxic. Oh my goodness, man. It's the reason why it's toxic, because there's no risk of losing in rank. That's why. See, back in Street Fighter 4, there were player points. So you wanted to be random and you lose because you were being random. Yeah, you were losing 100 plus player points, and they were very hard to get that back. So if you had like 4,000 player points and above, it was hard to find somebody with 4,000 player points as well. So majority of the time, you only get 1 player point each match. But if you lose 100 going, see, in this game, it's just all together. So you lose 100 or you win 100. So it's like, I could be random and just get the points back next match. And 4, you had to literally win 100 matches in a row just to make up for that one loss you lost to in rank. So I feel like because like it's less risk in Street Fighter 5, that's why it's more toxic in rank. You deal with a lot more Abigails. Okay, you got more Mikas. Okay, you got so many Bisons. I could go on all day. Zeku, don't get me started on that character in rank. They don't care. Yo, Zekus, and y'all know who I'm talking. Man, don't get me started. I'm getting sick of that character, man. Zangiefs, okay.
They play. Maybe I just missed it, but this has been a big part of what's happening so far.
I feel like Smug has actually thought about this as he saw, Shine come through. Like he's had another game plan on top of his game plan, and it's rare. To follow up, but just go for the dash up throw. Actually, not too much. So much damage lost. The target combo lands and scuffs up the shoes. Everything, and building up that damage.
Whip punish yet again. Yeah, that's been a huge part of this grand final set so far. That big mid-range right there where with dashes, with dash punches, and with whip punishes, it feels like Smug just has control.
That casual stroll, like taking the dog out. Don't get hit. Do not
that's
get
the name
clipped.
of the game right here. Do not get buffered into dash punch.
No! What an unfortunate mistake! I don't know what he reacted to, but Smug hits him with the CA. The C in the next round. Interruption. EX, but the wake up. EX. Needs one more hit to do it. This is the command grab. Oh my god. From Shine. Throw. The jump back. I like that. Eliminating some of that bar. There's the upper too.
Oh, Shine, it feels like he's in trouble. He has... Oh, no! Well, it didn't get punished. Big plus, enough that he could walk up slightly to get the grab. Smug still moving towards the corner. Any big hit will do it. Shine now is looking for desperate things.
Smug, all he needs is that one final hit to do it right. All that bar at the bottom. Doesn't get the confirm, gets the crush. The dash up to do it. Smug is your CPT NA East 2 champion.
Okay, so I feel like at the end of this year, the person that's going to win the popular vote is going to be a fan favorite. So I think, this is a good one. I feel like Knuckle-Doo might be he's going to win the popular vote. I think he's going to win that because I feel like Punk is going to win the second half of the qualifier. And so, because I thought it was going to be Punk for the popular vote, but I like him to win the West Coast qualifier. So the other person that was also in Capcom Cup is between like JB, Gustavo, and Knuckle-Doo, and I think Knuckle-Doo will probably win that because Knuckle-Doo won a Capcom Cup. People want Knuckle-Doo in Capcom Cup, So I feel like see you have people like Momochi, Fudo, and Tokido, but I personally feel like Knuckle-Doo would probably be voted more than Tokido. I think more people want to see Knuckle-Doo play than Tokido. I for the popular vote. So I think I still put my cards on Knuckle Doo. I think he might win that. I'll vote for Knuckle Doo Dang. Shoot, if that guy what it takes, man, I'll vote for Knuckle Doo Dang. He's a guy. He's a cool guy. I just don't want it to bite me later on that I voted for the person that eliminates me from the tournament. I'll be salty. I'll be like, man, and imagine he teabags me, because that's nothing to do. Knuckle Doo is one of those bad mama jammers where, all right, you beat me fair and square, you stunned me for the game, then you just teabag me in my face. I'm like, I'm the reason you're in Capcom Cup, and you teabag me. I feel like that's going to happen if he gets into that situation. I feel like he's going to do it. And I don't know, man. See, Knuckle Doo, you can't trust people like Knuckle Doo, okay? I don't know. Like, he's cool at times, but at the other time, you can't get too comfortable around Knuckle Doo, all right? So, shout out to Knuckle Doo, man. People just don't know what I was going through just to like work hard. People don't know how hard I worked. People don't know. They just think I played Balrog and I'm just randoming people out to get this. Nah, man. People know the matchup. People know the Balrog matchup. It is not easy. I play Sean all the time. I play Dance Slip all the time. I play Art all the time. You know what I mean? All these people, you know, so it's not that easy, you know, qualifying for these tournaments. So like, I just wish everybody else for the remaining qualifying tournaments the most success, and I just wish them the best luck.
There you have it, your CPT NA champion. Smug the Beast books his place. And what a noble gesture there at the end. His vote would go towards Knuckle Doo, who he said rightfully would probably throw it in his face with a teabag and a stun if they met in tournament. But that's who Knuckle Doo is. Don't take it personally. How about that performance, though, Logan, before we even talk about that amazing gesture?
I want to say, like, remember last time when we interviewed Smug before NA East 1, and he said, like, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah,
there will be lag.
Yeah.
Like, voting for Knuckle Doo's the same thing.
Yes.
You know what you voted for. There will be teabagging. There will be disrespect. You know what you're voting for. So, you know, if you get that, it's just your own fault. I know
Xiaohai knows more better than most. Never forget.
Of course, CPG China coming up in a couple of months' time. Not far away.
Very exciting.
So, yeah. Balrog. Season 5.
Forgotten Beast.
Yeah, I mean,
we all know too well, right, these parts.
After Season 2, when, like, he didn't get readjusted. He got hammered.
Yeah, he got
that nerf to tap
erased.
Was like they just didn't give him enough to make up for how ridiculously strong tap was, and he just kind of like floundered a bit. He got the V trigger 2. Okay, he's got a command grab. All right, how am I going to land it? And now we're here in Season 5, and one of the coolest things about Balrog now is he's got like viable builds, you know, like...
Oh, he's got great combinations of
V-Skill 2, V-Trigger 2 obviously is the preferred one for most.
Beautiful.
But he's in a position now where, and Smug spoke about this at length, like in matchups where V-Skill 1 is useless, you know, obviously, you know, against like a Guile, for example, the Balrog Guile matchup, V-Skill 1 makes that
all day
a horrible matchup for Guile. But against, say, like, against Ibuki, what's he going to do? He's not going to use that. The overhead is like punishable from almost every range as well. Like good players will react to that overhead now, and
the lows are fake anyway. It's like 6 frames slower, so
you just basically got a V-Skill that you're probably not going to... I mean, yeah, he got the EX straight cancelling to the V-Skill with the target combo for a bit of a more corner carry and extension, and that's cool. But boy, this V-Skill 2, the corner carry off that stuff, you know, we're going to go into that in a bit detail because obviously we've got the analysis section coming up later on. I know you've picked out some points, and I definitely want to talk about how Smug optimizes this V-Skill 2.
That's a great word for how he uses it.
But V-Skill 2 has allowed Boxer to really deal with some of his terrible matchups. We didn't see him have to play against a Geef, but is there not a better example of how that V-Skill has turned Boxer around than the Boxer versus Zangief matchup?
So I haven't really seen that matchup with that V-Skill, but...
basically before, Geef could just flex every single dash straight.
Of course, yeah.
And now, because that V-Skill turns it into a multi-hitting move, he has to commit to the flex and the walk. So it's long for him. It's really added a huge amount of depth. And when you're playing in that kind of style that Smug has, which is really patient, tremendous. He spoke about that as well. Training with Zeus, the Vega player,
such a beast,
who was incredible Street Fighter 4.
Forgotten beast. I imagine he's formidable where he needs to be. If he was to ever take this game very seriously,
yeah, he's just not invested in Street Fighter 5 at all.
But he'd be a monster.
Godlike player, and he taught him that patience. And I remember, because obviously I played Dudley in Street Fighter 4, and there was this guy in New York who was just blowing people up with Dudley. I'm like, I need to watch this guy. What am I going to learn from him? And it wasn't like a ton of crazy resets. You know, yeah, I saw some cool combos, but combos are combos. It's not like Dudley needs to do more damage. What I learned from watching Smug was doing nothing. The patience.
Chill.
Like having the confidence to just not be buttonsy and just wait. And he said using that V-Skill too allows him to just wait and play really patient. He doesn't have to keep throwing out straights. He's sitting on it. And
another thing, I mean, we'll pick up on this later, but his lack of straights is a massive contradiction to every boxer player's argument about boxers' weaknesses. Like when they say like, oh man, this character can punish every single straight on block, or the walk speed is too fast on Karen and Akuma, I can't straight because they'll whiff punish. This guy hardly ever does it. Like, even when it's in the guaranteed safe range, he's just not interested in the kind of like, I'm just going to get a bit of chip or a bit of damage from range where you can't punish. He's playing a completely different game with boxers. So patient, so lame. And you'd think it's a disadvantage to not straight. But with that V-Skill too, it's a huge advantage. You know, your opponent's kind of like got to come to you almost, and he can just attack at any moment. He used it really well.
Incredible stuff. Really, really enjoyed these matches all weekend. You know, if you're an aspiring Balrog player, watch that back, study that back. Make sure you follow him on the YouTube, Smug the Beast, and on Twitch as well. You're going to pick up a ton of great stuff. And of course, the G's there as well. What a great compliment that is.
I mean, that's a straight counter for all those. I mean, you said Zangief, right? It's probably still a hard matchup. Better, but still hard. He's not going to play boxer for that match, right? He's got a perfect counter in his pocket. It's a great combination of characters that he's got there. Before we move on, though, what do you think of Boxer this season? Because we finally got him now winning the CPT. You know, you got some guys winning tournaments locally here with boxers. I'm not going to say their names.
Why wouldn't you say their names?
Well, you know,
give them their shine.
They're going to get big. Going to get bigger, didn't it? You know, big up Shoyi Sengan, you know, doing his thing. Yeah. But also, we got a few boxers in
you
Europe.
Mentioned
you know,
the Brazilian boxers. I know it's Wellington.
And the Brazilian guys as well. Wellington
92 came through, and I can't remember the name of the other one. I hate it when my mind goes blank.
As well,
C in Asia as well, the boxer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, one of the originals.
Definitely, he's been repping boxer for the longest, and they're there. They're coming through. Brian F, of course, going back and forth between G and boxer. I feel like this game, boxer's really indicative of this game, where we're at in season 5. There's like an underclass of characters that are all really scary and really effective, and in the hands of a godlike player, can all win like a regional level tournament where they don't have to just plow through brackets of their potential bad matchups. Because every character in this game's got bad matchups. Like Akuma's the best character in the game at the moment, and Akuma's got bad matchups. Seth's one of the best characters in the game, definitely got bad matchups. Urien and G both have bad matchups against Cammy, for example.
I mean, Cammy she does that to a lot of characters.
You can argue what bad matchups Cammy has, but in general, but the lower down you get in the tier list, obviously the number of bad matchups that character has gets greater. That's why they're down there.
Yeah, and also the level of difficulty in the matchup too.
Yes, but all of those characters are really good still.
Yeah, they are.
It's hard to argue that there's more than 5 bad characters in this game, which is really reminiscent to me of like Ultra Street Fighter 4. Completely overshadowed by like Eleanor and Evil Ryu and Rolento, Seth,
Hugo.
Fuerte. But
Seth,
if you looked at that game, that lower class of characters, they were all really good, and you'd see character specialists that were giving everyone a problem. And
seriously, that's
we're in a really good space, I think. Where
I think Street Fighter 5 has always been pretty well balanced.
I mean, the V-Trigger system kind of gives you that. V-Trigger and Crush Counter system kind of always give you a comeback chance, right? But I think that at the moment, the way that the balance is, sure, there's clearly top-tier characters.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of, like, useless bad characters.
Yeah. I agree. I think even less than 5, personally. I consider terrible. And what you're finding is, even if your character is bad, 70-80% of your matchups are usually about 5-5 anyway. Like a lot of people say Alex is bad. He goes 5-5 with a lot of characters, you know. But then his uphill matchups are extremely uphill, and he has a lot of matches where he slightly loses, right? You're still fighting a lot of those matchups and winning. We're seeing a lot of that with, like, you know, guys like Gunfight and Prototype and all these other guys. We see them do it in these tournaments. So you're absolutely spot on. I think this version, 5 has always done the best job. I think in terms of Street Fighter history, 5 has always done the best job in terms of overall balance.
Yeah.
This version is the closest to, like, well balanced that we have. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching this, like Fang players and Dalsin players, like, no, it isn't. It's terrible.
I'm an Ed main. What about me?
Guys,
but, you know,
trust me, you would have had it harder in the. We're talking legitimate 8-2s and 7-3s.
Yeah.
In
I mean, you go back
games.
to the 90s and there's characters that basically didn't exist in Capcom games. They're there on the character select screen as art. That's all they're there for. But yeah, it's interesting. But Balrog has definitely stepped up. You know, it's kind of that thing where these buffs are giving the character specialists more tools to get more out of the character, and you're starting to see these results. And you know, it's not like Smug wasn't winning tournaments before. It's not like Smug wasn't getting top 8s at premieres before.
Exactly.
It was happening. So, right, we're going to take a short pause for the cause because, of course, we have to thank the sponsors and pay the bills to make sure that these beautiful lights stay on. These cameras are powered. We'll be back on the other side. F-Word, of course, has some points that he wants to analyse in depth. We love doing that now. It's good fun.
It's good fun.
And we're going to take a look at the grand final as well and just gas Smug up a little bit more. We've also got the SFL from this week to look through and those 2 awesome tournaments that happened on the West Coast this past week as well. I'm going to have a drink and rest my mouth for a few minutes. You can do so. We'll be back on the other side. See you then.
I'll take you downtown. Boom! That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
Let's have some fun.
Let me zap you. Here we go. That's that.
Terrific wing! My unveiling. I will be exposed to the entire world. When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am. Call me Lord and Emperor. God's oil. Time to return to harmony. Terrific wing! My perfection does not require any training. on the battle.
Get ready.
Destroy. Begin.
Let's go.
Disappear. Kneel.
You do not have the strength to crush the spirit of the king.
Alright! I really like to exercise. And training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death. 5 insects.
Pull out all the stuff.
Hadouken! Witness the power of the continental. This is the power of the king.
Paraneuro device expansion completed. Pseudo personality asset is imported properly. Biological brain connected. Doll unit 0. Startup sequence to begin.
Well now, little piece of junk. Time to wake up.
Doll unit 0. Activated.
Well, Jory, who is a piece of junk?
Installed.
Show me something worth taking. Your data is now useless. Witness the power of the content engine. This is the power of the king! Your data will reside in me for eternity.
Hey, welcome back to Fighting Words, your weekly show here on Capcom Fighters, where myself and F-Word...
It's my thing, man.
Myself and F-Word round up the world of Street Fighter 5, including all of the CPT 2020 action. And of course, we have wrapped up NA East now. 2 tournaments are done. 2 players are making their way to Capcom Cup. Mandrake and, of course, Smug. You just saw, before the ad break, an interview with the man himself, Smug the Beast, the mayor of Duff City, who made it through in winners with the greatest of ease to join the list of 9 other players for Capcom Cup.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't free. It wasn't completely free of drama, right? Because we did see, unfortunately, a repeat of some actions that happened in the first NA East tournament, with Mandrake rage quitting before the set had finished. I unbelievable. I love that, actually. That was hilarious. I can tell he did that with a smile on his face despite losing.
He was done.
And I think he's got nothing to prove anyway. He had another phenomenal run.
Well, we'll talk about nothing to prove because he proved something this week. We'll talk about that in the Alpha Check.
He did, didn't he? He did, yeah.
Charity event.
Good shout.
We're going to be talking about that later on. Still plenty of features to come. Of course, we're focusing right now on NA East 2, but we have got SFL to come. We've got Clip That.
Sure.
We have got Alpha Check.
Jeez.
We've got the Adorama charity event that happened as well. But before all of that, for some reason, we've got to let this man have his say.
What up? But
we're going to do that on the other side after we check out the highlights from the grand finals. I wish we could have the highlights in full of the winners' final and the grand finals because they were both an amazing set.
I love them.
But we're going to just take a look at the grand finals here between Smug and Shine. An incredible tournament, a fitting end. Very strong performance from two incredible competitors. Let's take a look at these clips and we'll be back on the other side with some real in-depth analysis.
Instead, here he is.
Rush. Caught impressive after that EX. Unfortunate. There's the stun. Not the damage, but not enough to kill, but this will. This absolutely will.
Not quite there. And he just wants to get rid of the stun. That was a solution. Smug, and he comes in.
It's done. Smug takes the first one.
They play. Maybe I just missed it, but this has been a big part of what's happening so far.
I feel like Smug has actually thought about this as he saw, Shine come through. Like he's had another game plan on top of his game plan, and it's rare. To follow up, but just goes for the dash up throw. Actually, not too much. So much damage lost. The target combo lands and scuffs up the shoes. Throw no go. Still stuck in the corner. Ooh, recovered in time to block that V-Skill. No trigger, but here it is from Shine.
Great defense. Smug still has a little bit of timer on that V-trigger. It's gone. And then again, we've seen that a couple of times here where Shine finds the crouching medium kick, walks up.
He's setting him up, conditioning him, and I loved it. Shine still fighting back. What a whip on a shooting crouching medium punch into the EX. Gets a follow-up in the right after, and another throw.
Nice!
In the corner!
Beautiful. Getting that kunai back into pressure. Release, is it enough?
Flip. Yo, the EX right after. My God.
Wow.
Everything. And building up that damage.
Whip punish yet again. Yeah, that's been a huge part of this grand final set so far. That big mid-range right there where with dashes, with dash punches, and with whip punishes, it feels like Smug just has control.
That casual stroll, like taking the dog out. Don't get hit. Do not get clipped. That's the name of
the game right here. Do not get buffered in the dash punch sequence.
No! What an unfortunate mistake! I don't know what he reacted to, but Smug hits him with the CA! The C in the next round. Interruption! EX, but the wake up. EX! Needs one more hit to do it! This is the command grab! Oh my God. From Shine, throw. The jump back, I like that, eliminating some of that bar. There's the upper too.
Oh, Shine, it feels like he's in trouble. He has... Oh, no! Well, it didn't get punished. Big plus, enough that he could walk up slightly to get the grab. And Smug still moving towards the corner. Any big hit will do it. Shine now is looking for desperate things.
Smug, all he needs is that one final hit to do it right. All that bar at the bottom doesn't get the confirm, gets the crush, the dash up to do it. Smug is your CPT NA East 2 champion.
A superlative performance.
That's pretty good. Were
you like this as a kid?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't exciting.
Did you think I was going to kill that CA?
I've decided that it just always kills me.
It's ridiculous.
You know what? That's the new carrying CA.
Yeah, it is. It pretty much is. Yeah.
A very interesting point that I don't know if a lot of people know. Gut scaling.
They don't know what that is now.
So gut scaling, if you don't know what gut scaling is, it's a scaling system that kicks in as you lose health. Right. So the lower your health is, the higher the scaling on the damage that you take is. And it's on a per hit basis.
And it's been there forever, hasn't it? Gut scaling.
It's a concept that's existed in Street Fighter for a long time, and fighting games in general. But obviously, Street Fighter is the innovator of 2D fighting games.
Say no more.
But, of course, Balrog's critical art is one hit.
Yeah, it is.
So it has the least amount of gut scaling, which is why when you get to the end, like that Shine combo...
Bloody hell, mate.
It does a chunk of damage. It's basically almost unscaled. So it looks like it does a lot of damage because it does a lot of damage.
Exactly. And gut scaling is separate from standard scaling you get in a game where it's like hit per hit per hit scaling. It's not the same. So
one of the examples I always used to remember is Ken and Karin's CAs both do the same amount of damage. Right? But because of the way that Ken's critical art is structured, as you lose health, Ken's will do less than Karin's, even though overall that critical art, which is one move, should do the same amount.
So the hit scaling is the same.
Yeah.
But the gut scaling isn't.
It kicks in more. But because Boxer's one hit, it's got the least gut scaling in the game. So yeah, that's why you might see Boxers do that V-Skill punch into CA, and it will do... It feels like after he does the V-Skill punch into another dash punch into the CA, it's like powered up even more.
Yeah, it does. It really
feels like after you hit the V-Skill punch, like the CA just does even more damage.
There was one against Danslip as well, when I was like, okay, what's he going to do after this? KO! What? Like, it hurts.
It definitely hurts. It definitely hurts.
Phenomenal.
Obviously, we mentioned the whole of the top four all played exceptionally, and I know you want to talk about some of the other players that we saw this weekend stepping up.
Well, the players I called out, Logan, because, I do tend to call out, and what I call out tends to come to fruition. Me and Jammers having the foresight to see Smug winning this event. Thank you, Jammers. Great minds think alike. I was going to say, other than Smug the Beast, like putting on a clinic against so many matchups, I got to be honest with you, it was a tiny bit anticlimactic, some of his matchups, because they were so one-sided. But guys like, Shine did push him, to the edge, like you said, 2-0 in that winners final. Shine, who we said together in the last episode, actually, we said this is a guy who's due a big win. He's beaten some of the best players. He's had fantastic Evo runs. He goes toe-to-toe often with some of the big names out in the East Coast and beyond. He's more than capable. He just needs to have one of those days. And for a long time, it looked like it was going to be one of those days for Shine. Wasn't to be in the end. Smug was the better man on the day, but my goodness, did he give us some entertaining matches.
Shine had to work super hard, by the way. His matches in top 8 were 3-2 against CJ Truth.
That was a tight set.
Then he lost 3-2 against Smug in winners finals. Then he had to play CJ Truth again in losers final, and that was 3-2. So he had to work this weekend before he got to that grand final.
Very entertaining. And I believe, I'm pretty sure every single one of those matches went down to match point both players as well.
Yeah.
So imagine the stress you're dealing with, as well as just no ease. And there he was. And another guy we're going to talk a bit more about now as well, as always. And it might seem like we're a bit biased, but the kid is just that good. CJ Truth, who at one point looked like he was gonna take the whole thing at one point. Well, let's talk about CJ Truth versus Shine first and foremost.
They had two incredible sets, so there's a lot to talk about.
Both amazing sets, both. And in both sets, there was beautiful little intricacies of Cammy versus Ibuki specific to that matchup. Cammy's one of the characters that fights Ibuki. Ibuki's one of the characters that fights Cammy fairly well. I don't think she wins, but she has answers if she's concentrating for some of the stuff.
Why is that?
Well, it's basically like Kazagiri is 3 frames. It has a ton of active frames. I think it's something like 20 something active frames or something. It's at least over 10 digits, right? And he does
10 digits.
She does it, right? I can't remember the active frames on it, but she does the Kazagiri, and even if Cammy changes her arc at the very tip to delay that hurt box coming down, Ibuki's coming down, but it's like a projectile remains up there and it still hits her, and she gets Meteoki off that as well. So the jump game, if Ibuki's concentrating, that mix-up is almost eliminated. The only thing Cammy can do is, like, from a distance, she can do, like, an instant dive kick, which if the Ibuki's committing and concentrating, she'll go up in the air and Cammy gets an annoying free combo. So that jump game is still annoying, but it's got less variables than in other matchups. And you saw as well with Shine versus CJ Truth, there are many scenarios where Shine just decided, I'm not going to bother trying to anti-air. It's taking too much concentration. He just stayed on the ground. The first set, he just didn't have an answer for V-Skill. Like, he got hit by about 10, maybe 12 V-Skills in the first set, CJ Truth. Fully charged, just didn't know where to stand. and just kept getting caught by the edge of it. And at times when he was in whiff range, he'd crouch. And for those of you who don't know, in Street Fighter, when you crouch, your hurt box actually extends slightly forward. So it's harder to whiff punish. So when he was standing in the perfect range to whiff punish, he'd hesitate for a second and crouch, and then it would just hit and it's blocked, and then suddenly she's only -2, she's safe, right? All of that changed in the second set, but we'll go into those little intricacies as we go by. First and foremost, Shine's conversions in these close scenarios. I feel like in the scrambles, Shine had the edge. There was a number of scenarios where they scrambled and they were kind of like 0 off hit stun or block stun recovery, and Shine was just ready with the medium or the light, and CJ would just get counter hit. He just wasn't ready for the scramble situations. If it's in open play and you dash in that kid's face, he's almost always ready. But in those scrambles where it's middle of the block stun and you try to wake up jab and he didn't get his meteor right and you get a trade, Shine was always ready for it. And in one scenario, 2 scenarios, he got the trade with the crouch medium kick. And I just love, I mean, anyone who plays this matchup knows this is something that you standardly do anyway, but I just love how ready he was to convert off that trade. So he did a crouch medium kick on CJ's wake up. I think CJ did wake up crouch jab. Trade, obviously, Ibuki's like +7, I think, when you do that. And he did a little walk forward into stand light kick V-trigger, and I was like, oh man, this guy's too ready. So I love trade combos. You don't get them as often in this game, of course, because of the...
moves aren't as active as well.
Moves aren't as active, and the priority system as well. So if it's a light versus a heavy, the heavy's going to win.
You're generally looking at like mediums for trades.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. So
there was another instance as well, right?
There was another one where he had the V trigger, but he didn't go for the V trigger, but he was still ready to convert off that trade. And trade combos, those of you may not know this, but trade combos are kind of like an option select. You know, it's muscle memory, but often if you know a move's got a lot of recovery, you can kind of commit to the button that you're pressing afterwards. I remember watching Evans versus Bonchan, I think it was, in a tournament in France, and Evans did an EX Wrecker with Fei Long, and as soon as the EX Wrecker hit, an Ultra came out. Because Bonchan did a crouch light kick and it hit the Wrecker. But he's committed to that Ultra already. So it's like an option select. If he doesn't do the light kick to trade and take him out of that hit stun recovery, then the second Wrecker just comes out and he's 0 because it's EX. So... As impressive as it looks, it is kind of like muscle memory and OS. But still, I love seeing trade combos. They're not as common in this game, and Shine's got them on lock. That was a beautiful sequence. And that matchup just continued to deliver, right? If we look also past that, we saw CJ was having a lot of trouble with like Shine's jump approach at one point. And you saw an attempt earlier on, I think it was in the first set, where he does this thing that actually Cobblecog, shout out Cobblecog, does this really well. He does this too well. Cobblecog is so focused on it that you can just dash up and throw him, you know? But Cobblecog, when he plays against Ibuki, he's always looking for normal jump kunai or jump EX kunai. And as the kunai comes down, he will jump and dive kick over your kunai. Now, I want to quickly talk about the difference between, because a lot of people talk about jump arc changes and how powerful they are. And the difference between Ibuki's jump arc change with jump kunai or jump EX kunai versus Kami's. The big difference that's very obvious that a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge when they're talking about these two moves is Ibuki's hitbox is a projectile. So the actual Ibuki, the actual vulnerable part, her body, is not connected to that at all. So if you can evade the projectile and connect on Ibuki, you can give big damage. She also lands in a crouch state, which is great for Cammy, because what you saw CJ Truth do was jump over the kunai and come down with a dive kick, and then obviously on crouch, she's more plus, straight into a light, straight into a medium combos every time. The reason why this is hard to do on Cammy, and I think we saw Shine try to run away at one point when he was close to stun, and he ran away from a dive kick, right? If this was an Ibuki jump EX kunai, as he tried to jump away, right? The jump EX kunai is actually going to hit here, but there's nothing Ibuki can do. Cammy's gone, right? Because Ibuki's actually going to land here, right? But because the dive kick is the hitbox and the hurtbox,
for Cammy,
the advantage is her whole body is traveling in that scenario. So when Shine tried to jump away, cannon strike right in range, and I think that got the stun as well to close out the round. And this actually comes with advantages and disadvantages. The advantage obviously being you're less vulnerable to certain types of anti-airs with jump EX kunai. The disadvantage being you're not as well protected if they evade.
Yeah, there's massive amounts of recovery
and tons of
physical recovery.
And this is where I think overall jump EX kunai is, how did I word it? I think I'd word it as is the overall more rewarding move and more consistently powerful move, because it's almost always plus if you space it and so forth and so on. But actually the more difficult move to deal with is probably the dive kick, because you can neutral jump the dive kick. Hey, she's right here. She's not there, and she's going to anti-hit, and there's less
DP
recovery.
And she's ready for you.
Exactly. So that was interesting. But I love the way CJ, he tried and he missed once, and then the next 2 times he got it, and it was a scenario where Shine
there was that big corner combo, and then there was another one we went straight into the back medium punch.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. And by the way, his punish is on the I'll confess one thing that I didn't know that I should complain about Cammy more. I didn't know back medium punch was so fast. I actually thought it was like.
You didn't know it was a 4-frame medium?
I didn't know it was medium. No.
Come on, I've been complaining.
Of all the complaints I put on Cammy, I actually didn't know that was 4 frames. I thought it was 5 frames.
Bruv. Like
as soon as I saw that, I went onto the app and I was like...
Everyone that's been telling me for years that Ken can't have a 4-frame back medium punch.
Wait, she's always had a 4-frame back medium
It's
punch.
always been 4 frames.
I confess.
And it's plus.
And I'm ashamed to admit, I didn't know that. I know it's plus. I know it's a great button with hardly any pushback.
And it anti-airs the back of her head. It does everything.
4 frames. Why does that exist? And the punish she got on the accidental V-trigger activation into the back medium punch, target combo, cannon strike. The cannon strike whiffs the shuriken. I mean, talk about matchup specific quality there from CJ Truth in that set. I was really impressed by that. There was actually more. If I can continue. But
of course. Defensively, it was very interesting as well, wasn't it?
Dude, I think I counted... What was it? Was it 8? I think it might have been... Okay, it was 7 V-Trigger 2 activations on hit.
Yeah, because Shine was really good at only activating on hit. Obviously, we saw the one punish just now that CJ Truth did when...
And there was
Shine
one that
activated
CJ
on block.
Didn't punish properly where he jabbed him through, but he still got the throw.
Yeah.
I think he did like 2 on block in total. Oh, and he did a couple on block with EX.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really count. That's still safe.
No, that's plus as well.
So on VT activation...
So out of 10 games...
over 2 sets,
10
right?
games.
On VT activation, CJ Truth got hit twice.
With the reset.
With the reset, exactly on that V, and that's what makes that V trigger powerful is the reset. Unless it's like an anti-air one.
So let's talk us through a couple of the instances that you saw. You know that he actually was able to block correctly, because I can think of one where he guessed wrong on like the instant overhead setup.
Yep, he gets wrong on the instant overhead. She gets the crouch fierce on landing.
Yeah.
But actually that setup was blocked in the first set.
Yes, exactly.
Which is just like, and that's her best, by the way, if you don't know this, guys, her best setup for V-Trigger 2
mid-screen.
is that mid-screen EX Kunai Command Dash V-Skill activate. Horrible, because she's got high, low, left, right. She's got so you got what, a 25% chance of guessing right? Maybe less, because she can still throw or whatever as well. So it's like a 15% chance to get
Marvel,
right.
Baby.
You know what I mean? But CJ was blocking all of them.
Yeah.
He did cross up a bit too often. He didn't go in front enough times, I'd say, and that's probably because if you cross up the right timing, the dive kit, the cannon, the reversal can whiff. But still, the block rate was incredibly high. There was a few where he went for resets and he didn't need to. Like, it was on hit and he just wanted max damage, get the stun, get the round. And CJ was still ready to hold the other direction. I was like, man, this guy's blocking is just incredible. Having said that, he had like an 80% block rate on V-Trigger 2.
Yeah.
And he still
lost.
Still lost.
So it shows you that Ibuki can still win through just solid fundamentals.
Yes, but also, if we're being honest, the fact of the matter is, if you guess right against Ibuki's mix-ups, she's still plus. So, I mean, you're still in a mix-up, which is fair, because you're not getting that much damage if you get hit anyway, and, she doesn't have much health, so...
It's not like she stuns you in 2 touches anymore.
No, of course not, no.
You need the bomb for that, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, goes without saying, if Shine had been using the bomb, and instead of relying on eyesight, just use the smoke of the bomb to dash in any direction.
That's real ninjutsu.
CJ Truth would have been dead already. So, anyway, those of you who don't support the bomb, you guys are wrong.
All 2 of you are out there.
Big up,
still
realistic.
repping.
No, but that was really impressive. The block game was fantastic too. So anything you wanted to call out before we moved on to the next one?
I'd really like to talk about how Smug used this V-Skill too, because it was a real game changer. Smug hasn't been getting involved in these online tournaments, as he said in the interview.
He hasn't.
So there's not a huge amount of experience playing against him with this iteration of Balrog. You're going to know if you're Shine, you definitely have played hundreds of sets against Smug, and even still now,
tons.
Even still now, because Smug still will play Battle Lounge against everybody and what have you. It's not like he's not playing anybody. He's hiding it
streaming as well. Yeah.
But in tournament conditions, in tournament situations, it's different than playing, endless Battle Lounge matches. So the way that Smug was playing with this V-Skill 2, I was hugely impressed. He looked like, at round start, he's looking like a Zeku player. He's doing backdash, Dempsey roll, and a lot of Balrog players will throw out that dash straight because it's plus on block, and they'll throw it out just to be in and plus, because it's such a novelty, especially against a character like Ibuki that can basically punish you at every range if you throw out light dash punch.
I mean, no, let's not get too carried away.
She can basically punish you.
Let's not get carried away here,
at
mate. Come
every
on.
range.
You can space it, yeah? All right, you can.
On a Wednesday in round 3,
whatever,
only on bustling side street, you can space it, apparently. But having access to a plus on block dash straight you can throw out, wonderful.
And I'll tell you what, before seeing him play, I think we'd both agree. There's nothing wrong with using it that way, right?
No, not at all.
But I guess what you're saying is...
But the way that Smug was using it was so incredibly optimal, because he was just disengaging. He would happily backdash at the start of the round, or back off at the start of the round.
Try and stop me.
And you'd see that little Roman numeral 2 just plinging in the bottom corner of the screen.
The matchup's changed straight away.
And he'd wait. He would wait. And he's using it kind of like how Nakalis are using standing medium punch in V-Trigger, right?
Yeah.
Or
how Gustavo's using a V-Trigger with G. Because he's not spending the meter. He's just walking forward and buffering buttons.
Yeah,
right.
And it allows. I just meant the fact that Boxer doesn't need charge anymore. The same way Nakali doesn't need charge anymore.
Yeah.
So it turns.
Well, that's massive as well.
It turns Boxer's standing light punch and crouching medium punch into incredible whiff punish buttons.
And the crouch light punch. I mean,
with and the crouching light punch. With meter as well, the corner carry is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and the damage in certain situations as well.
Damage, Logan?
Well, so you could see that there was a load of situations where he's holding on to that V-Skill 2 power up.
He did that really well.
Waiting.
Yeah, really well.
Even in situations where he could interrupt, even in situations where there were opportunities to whiff punish, he still wasn't like trigger happy on it. He was happy to just sit on it. And there was a couple of instances where, like you see it against Danslip, where he would like power up the V-Skill, and just cotch,
just chill
at the back of the screen,
absolutely chill,
and wait for him to come in. Even when he didn't have the V-Skill, he was actually really good at recognizing when he got a guaranteed V-Skill as well. Anytime that Cammy would just do like a full screen dive kick or just jump at a range. He knows that he can just get away with V-skilling.
Yeah, I love that. He uses the recovery of the whatever move they're doing.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to do? They're going to super. I mean, if they don't...
Not that early in the round. It's like 94 seconds in the round.
It's guaranteed.
So he was really good at that and just stocking it and making sure it was there. And that means that if you start walking or coming approach, you have to... So normally in that matchup against Cammy, right, you whiff a dive kick, you're getting... And Balrog doesn't have back charge, you're probably going to get like target combo into a knockdown, and he'll V-Skill up.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
He sacrificed Oki and damage often just to do it, right? Just to do it.
But in the instances where he's connecting there, he is getting huge damage and corner carry as well. And the corner carry, for me, was really significant. It also allowed him to not worry about forward movement. And you see that a lot more forward movement. He was getting away with a lot of dashes.
He was, yeah.
Because when he's got that stocked, you don't want to get clipped by the dash straight. And there's no like, I'm going to space it out, stand at this range thing, and it's going to be punishable. It's not punishable at any range if it touches you.
And it's harder to whiff punish.
Because it's plus. So you're not punishing it on block. You don't want to get hit by it because it sends you way across the screen. So you're a lot more sort of tentative. Mm-hmm. And it allowed him to get away with a lot of dash-up, roundhouse, dash-up, throw mix-ups. And then we can talk about the damage. Because in the instances where he was holding on to this V-Skill 2 and converting, there was one specific instance against Shine where he just interrupted with crouching light punch. And like the damage looked like a CA. It was huge. Like... That's not even to talk about the 2 times where he cancelled into CA after a juggle combo.
Good Lord.
Huge amounts of damage. The corner, there was another instance as well where he used the V-Skill charge after a throw in the corner for a meaty EX. And he's in V-Trigger as well. It's such a great situation after the command throw because you're massively plus. So if you meaty, they can't jump out. So it's a real 50-50 between the command grab. In this instance, it didn't matter anyway because it hit and it was the end of the round. But it's such an effective use. He got so much out of this V-Skill.
He got so much mileage out of not using the V-Skill, but just stocking it.
Having it there.
And I love the fact that he knows that. His opponents know this too. But I don't think they realised how much of an advantageous position it put him in when he stocked up the V-Skill. It's like you're in the middle of a fist fight, right?
Yeah.
And you're approaching the guy and he's close to daze and you're about to knock him out and he pulls out a knife and you're suddenly like, okay, all right, I've got to be careful now. How do I
change up all my ranges?
Change up my entire game plan.
If he gets in on me, I'm done as well.
That's it. And you literally you're just sitting there waiting for it, but because he never uses it. And I think that's something that a lot of these guys are going to go back and watch and say, you know what, when he stocks up, I'm still going to just play my game. But if he then starts using it, and I think you called out a round, Logan, we spoke about earlier, where he suddenly just played Dash Punch Boxer.
Yes, this round is fantastic against Shine, where and this is later, this is in Grand Finals, where he'd been using this V-Skill dash straight on Shine a lot. Yeah. I mean, actually against Shine was one of the players that he actually was just throwing out raw dash straight. In neutral, because he's good against.
Can I just call out actually?
Sure thing.
Across the two sets, I may be wrong, but I cannot remember a single unsafe dash straight against Shine. Against Ibuki, she's going to get a punish on that dash.
Yeah. So he was using the V-Skill 2 dash straight to get out there and throw it out there. This one round here that we're going to play for you now, he didn't use the V-Skill at all, but his spacing was incredible.
With punish city.
He makes like 3 or 4 whiff punishes here in this round. The whiff punishes are converted into big damage. Obviously, if he had V-Skill 2 charged up, the whiff punishes would be into even more damage.
Yeah.
But it just showed you the level of that he was on this weekend, where, you know, even playing what is effectively a Season 4 boxer without this power-up, right? He still was massively dominant. And I was just so impressed. I want to say, this V-Skill, one of the real benefits that is not obvious on paper, because damage on paper is easy to display. Oh yeah, this combo, if you've got the V-Skill charged up, it does an extra blah 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 and blah blah. That's easy to show, right?
Of course.
Or I get this punish now if I've got. I can space this and I'm plus. That's easy to show. One of the real kind of more subtle benefits of having this V-Skill charged up is it allows Boxer to move forwards, because you always think
that's the big change.
You always go back to like Super Street Fighter 4 Boxer, and it's just like down back. I'm holding my charge. I have to hold my charge. I'm only walking backwards. I'm only giving up space. Well, when you have that V-Skill charge, and you saw Smug using it, it allows him to walk into ranges and just check with that medium. It allows him to dash in and play a dash game where, you know, you're afraid of this charged V-Skill, and it allows him to. And Boxer's got a great dash.
A really good dash.
His dash mix-up game is incredible because he has so many other forward-moving moves.
It also allows him to walk forward and buffer buttons, like you said earlier, which is huge because his buttons are really good, but the fact he has to charge to convert them into anything decent allows you to walk forward when he's trying to play that game. Suddenly, you can't stop that game, and he can walk towards you. I understand why he's holding on to it.
Yes.
When you see those things in
it allows him to
combination.
Walk and crouch into that space and stick out that crouching medium punch, crouching jab, stand jab, and just play that space control game that everyone else gets to play, you know, but he doesn't have charge, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't need it,
and it just opens up a new play style. And for me, it was super, like the way that he's playing was like really reminiscent of his old Dudley, because you look at Dudley with standing roundhouse EX machine gun blow.
He's just waiting.
You know, you flick anything out against old school Smug in SF4, you're getting roundhouse, EX machine gun blow to the corner,
Party
some
starter.
Ridiculous juggle into high-low mix-up, GGs, you know. Or you flick anything out and it's crouching medium punch, light or medium machine gun blow. He was excellent at that. So good. And it opens this play style for him where he's so effective because he's so patient. He'll happily chill full
Super
screen
patient,
and block. Which means the moments where he chooses to dash on you or chooses to walk in on that space, they're catching everyone off guard because he hasn't been doing that for the other 75 seconds of the round. He's giving up space.
Why are you going to be ready in that moment when he's literally just?
It's super effective, and I knew the V-Skill was good. I've seen it in action. I've been watching boxers like Brian F., like Shoyu Sengan play with it, Mopu Lapu, players that I get to see online and in tournaments, and I know that it's good.
It's very good.
Matoha from Wednesday Night Fights is out there doing work with Boxer as well. But seeing Smug just get so much out of it, it was a real joy to watch this weekend.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, because it exists, other things become more powerful.
Yeah.
It's like Fei Long doing Fierce Punch Wrecker on your wake up in SF4. Why is that hitting? He's got a command grab. Why has he got a command grab? Anyway, that's another story. Can we stay on Smug for a second, though? Because as much as we're talking about his neutral control, his patience, I really want to talk about his awareness, because, again, I've got the pleasure of seeing all these Ibuki matchups, a character I'm a big fan of, and a matchup that I play a ton, right? Even though I suck at it, I understand the matchup really well. And one thing that you notice is this ground game is already slightly uphill for Ibuki in neutral. The fact that she's got okay walk speed and she can whiff punish and punish on block dash punches changes it a little if the boxer's not patient. But if the boxer's not doing that, how do you get your party started, right? You're trying to land a V-skill in neutral, you're trying to whiff punish, encroach with a crouch medium, all buttons that require her to be in a much closer range than she'd like to be against boxer, right? So what's Ibuki going to do? Naturally, she's going to start jumping a little bit. She's going to start jump kunaiing. And another thing that a lot of people aren't aware of in this matchup is that brain-dead anti-air that we spoke about last time, that medium from boxer, that seems to anti-air from all angles. If Ibuki's at a specific range, she can command jump, and for some reason, her command jump hurt box is not the same as her normal jump hurt box, right? It's just not the same. It's just got much less of a hurt box, right?
Works on DPs as well, doesn't it?
It tends to work on a number of things. But it's a very specific range, right?
Yeah.
If you do it too close, they can do a little walk underneath and anti-air. If you do it too far, then it's an easy anti-air. It's just like a normal jump.
Yeah.
Against Boxer, it's a very specific range. And Shine was clearly well aware of this range because he attempted, I think, 13 times across the two sets, maybe more, to land this specific jump medium kick that Boxer cannot anti-air reliably with stand medium. And Shine did not take that bait once over two sets. So, counting in, he didn't do a single unsafe straight against Ibuki across an entire two sets. By the way, one of those sets going all the way to match point, both players. He didn't take the jump bait, the anti-air bait, once across the entire two sets. In fact, there was one scenario where Shine got the spacing perfect on the command jump, and he did the command jump, and I was like, oh, that's going to hit if he tries to anti-air. And Smug just walked forward and then did the anti-air on the other side. And I was like, this guy's, how are you focusing on all this stuff and still ready for that one thing that she's got an answer to? It could have been a jump EX kunai. It wasn't.
I mean, that instance as well, it was after a sequence when he had Shine in the corner. And he took his turn and the roundhouse was blocked. And he backed off. And I don't know if he backed off to a specific range where he knows that, like, the command jump, I can see it and I can walk under it at that range.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because he intentionally
because it's also
up.
a corner escape, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
exactly, yeah.
that was really, really... His awareness was just...
And of course, there was another instance where he did
impressive.
it and it set him up for the round ender.
I think it was the tournament win, right?
Million damage. No, he won the tournament with a different round.
How appropriate that he takes such a significant step towards the championship with that anti-air that Shine had been trying so hard to punish the whole set to no avail.
There was even another time where he noticeably... Like, you can see that he's reacting to it because he saw it. He walked underneath and just checks it with the light kick.
That's the one I was referring to. Yeah. Oh, no, the separate one. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he just
checks
got
it with the light kick. He just walks underneath and just goes, right, I know this is a command jump. I'm okay. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to wait for you to try and do, Super Mario out, and I'll chase you down if I need to with Screw. But, yeah.
It's crazy because your natural instinct as a boxer in a lot of matchups, it's just to press that button.
Yeah.
Like he's literally erased that natural instinct and then found an adjusting option.
Well, that's from muscle memory, right? From playing it so much. And it's the same.
Well, muscle memory gets you killed in Street Fighter 5 a lot, right?
I mean, especially against characters that can change their jump path. That's what they're there for.
Exactly,
Cammy's the best example of that. So yeah, loads of great matches, loads of exciting points to look at.
We have to talk about one more before we go because this was a bizarre moment. This is a bizarre. Well, firstly, I'm going to give a lot of credit to this moment because I thought it was brilliant observation of your opponent's movements. It's like a what do you call it? Feints in a high level fight, right? He's setting the feints out. It's CJ Truth versus Knuckle-Do. Knuckle-Do switches to Cammy for the mirror match.
Oh yes, okay.
Takes a round, right? He's in a good position there, and he's actually at a life deficit. I think he just ate a CA, and it goes to neutral. And, NuckleDoo knows, I think it's tournament point now or something like that, and he's like...
Set point. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, sorry, set point. I'm out of the tournament if I lose this. So he slows it down. And as he slows down, he acknowledges CJ Truth's movement. And CJ Truth keeps encroaching, and he does a little crouch medium once on whiff. All right, he's like, okay, is that what you're doing? And you can see him kind of edge forward. Then CJ Truth does it again, a little whiff crouch medium. He's clearly buffering it in something. He's like, okay, all right, I've got something for that. And actually, Cammy doing crouch medium from that far away, when it's like the tip of her foot, there's not really much you can do about it unless you're going to whiff punish it. And whiff punishing is very hard because her hurt box is all the way back here in this game. But he managed to get into a tiny range where he made him do it again. But this time, instead of whiff punishing, he just stuck out a stand medium punch, counter hit it on startup into drill. And suddenly, the party is starting. He gets the tick throw, goes in. And then he just goes into a massive brain fart. After all that patience to get himself back in this round, he just activates V-Trigger and he just does a drill,
spiral,
just a heavy drill.
And he's out of the tournament, punished with CA.
Yeah, big punish.
Hate to see it. I'm not sure what the read was there. Maybe he thought he was going to try and jump out. You mentioned something about maybe he was going to try and CA
so
the
I was
activation.
thinking maybe he thought, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. He can CA this. Maybe he can. Hurricane, tell us. Maybe she can, because her CA is rapid, right? At that range, it might get there in time to punish. I don't know. And he thought, if I spiral, maybe the CA will whiff. I'm just overthinking now. That could be wrong. But I got no idea what it was.
Nothing happened other than the spiral was blocked. He was in the corner, and then CJ happily cashed out with a CA and advanced into losers final.
I've never seen such textbook patience. So high level, so
it was
clever.
like such godlike play, and then
followed by
such a I don't know what the error was, but
it's just a random
it
choice
didn't work
afterwards.
out. So,
but you know what? A lot of people talking about NuckleDoo not being there, but you know what? Like Smug said, man, I think he's a popular guy with the followers.
I think
and the fans.
So. Yeah,
I think he's got a good chance of being voted in.
If Punk is capable of winning West 2, which is happening, that's the last event I think in November. If Punk, and it looks like based on the form that he had this week that he's more than capable of doing so.
Yep.
We'll talk about that. We've got 2 really exciting events that happened on the West Coast to talk about later in the show. And of course, he's coming up next in the SFL, looking very strong.
Yep, super excited for that.
SFL preseason exhibition matches. A lot of Punk in this second half of the show.
Oh, tons. Yeah.
But it's about that time where we get into Clip That, which, of course, is a part of the show where we bring you via High Fight, one of the hardest working men out there in the FGC, hardest working people in general in the FGC, bringing you great content. Always sharing clips from around the world, be it tournament streams, personal streams. So let's get into that. It is time for Clip That.
I hope you're having fun, peeps, because it's only going to get better now as we get to one of my favourite segments of the show. Clip That, baby. High Fight going to send us, as he always does, some amazing clips from around the world of Street Fighter. We have picked out from his list 4 amazing clips. What are we kicking off with, Logan?
Well, I thought it would be good to pay respects to the champ. As we said, he's still out there streaming, creating content, and now that he's won and he's in Capcom Cup, he's got the freedom to do whatever he wants, use whichever characters he feels like.
True.
Whatever is going to get him on the highlight reels, and this one certainly did. The Doctor is in session, and he is showing his ability to postulate all the possibilities. He knows when you're going to jump. And when he's using Sagat, that definitely hurts. Let's take a look at this clip from Smug.
Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. Jump before boy.
Don't jump. Why are you jumping for? Don't jump, brethren. Sorry, reminds me of my old days. I love saying that. Smug's got a nice spin on it, though. He says it a bit more casually and relaxed. Yeah. Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump.
It just gives me flashbacks of Ryan Hart.
Yeah, that's how it feels, actually. Because Ryan's a very softly spoken guy.
Yeah.
But on the game, he's an absolute monster. So it's like, don't jump. Why are you jumping, man? No, don't jump, boy. That's Ryan Hart. Listen.
And then just being on commentary, just saying it exactly how you did.
if Sagat rounds went like that.
Yeah.
Every round.
Yeah.
He'd definitely be a top 3 character, wouldn't he?
Yeah, if if everyone blocked tiger shots and then tried to jump afterwards, it would be fine. But a lot of people like to neutral jump and then put you in a 50-50
only I
afterwards.
could jump in the air and land without blocking this fireball. That Honda player needs to go and study. Anyway, guys, that's not the only clip we've got. We're going to move on to the next one. And I love this moment here from Space Boy versus someone OMG. Sakura mirror match. That's a rare one. Run that clip.
Super. He didn't end it. He could have had it. Yo, there might be one more.
This is the opportunity.
No, super confirmed.
No! What? Are you serious right now? I was so OG with the EX.
What? I don't think I've ever seen that. Yo!
I'm not going to lie. Just like the commentators in that clip, I can't remember ever seeing Sakura's Air EX Tatsu before.
Some things I have to confess.
What is it for? Like, does it cancel off of a normal into a juggle or something?
Instant air do it? Something like that? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I completely
Can she do like jump medium into Air Tatsu for
maybe in the corner? But I think we'd see it if she could.
Maybe in the corner.
I mean, she doesn't even really launch you like that as well.
No.
It's just one of those moves that's there.
Well, it worked that time anyway.
We found the use case. There you have it. And if that Sakura had just done jump air throw, it would have been useless anyway. But that's not the point. In this specific scenario, it worked. So well done to someone at OMG for the call out and the punish afterwards as well. Gets a full punish. I love it. Juicy. What's next?
One of our favourite people in the world of streaming. Always entertaining without fail, and taking it all the way back. The nightclubs might be closed. Corona might have shut all the clubs.
It's not getting warmer for me. I can't figure out who it is.
But Club Hawaiian Shirtman is open for business.
Okay.
The dance floor is always open at Hawaiian Shirtman.
I've got to learn my Hawaiian Shirtman dance. Let me see the clip and then practice it.
Let's run this. And the damage is ridiculous. Yo.
Oh, yeah! Yes! Super!
Yeah! Okay, super! How's that?
That was on point. I felt like I was in the club with him right there.
I'm pretty sure people that get beat by him can't even be upset when they see the clips run back, man. Seriously. It's just so hilarious. Look, I'm not bored of it yet. I don't find it irritating yet. I'm sure at one point I will. But right now, I find it extremely entertaining. And I'm dying laughing every time that guy's doing his thing on his stream. So big up Hawaiian Shirtman and thanks for the funny memories. Having said that, he's not just a meme. I mean, the scary thing about him is he's actually pretty solid at the game. He's not bad at all, and that's an example.
Well, I don't know about solid, but he's very dangerous.
He's dangerous, yeah. Solid's a generous word.
He's very dangerous.
Crazy and effective, and if you're not careful, you're dead. What about the damage, though, Logan? I mean, like you said before the clip, I was laughing for a while. Like, this is hilarious. Oh, I love this. And then I was like, he's dead. Seku, don't sleep on that character. I'm surprised there's not more.
It's just all heavies and specials and bomb explosions.
And V-Skill as well.
You know how much damage bomb explosions do.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's the only way to go, mate. Only way to go. That's not the only one we've got, though. We're going to finish up here with a nice little local match, you could say.
Keeping it salty.
Keeping it salty with a King of the Salt Mine. Big up Rutus and the Salt Mine guys. Bolt Strike taking on Julia Ha. And Julia with an amazing read. I mean, she was so on point with this read. And of course, when you make amazing reads like this, you get phenomenal reward, right, Logan?
Always.
Let's see.
Nothing could go wrong here.
Drop should do it.
Julia's got to find something to fight their way out. Could get one touch, though. Oh, it's clipped. The cross cut, but no super. Okay, now Julia's definitely in kill range. Calls it out with the super on the Via missile, but it doesn't hit. Julia Han with the big brain reads and ideas, and it doesn't work out. That is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking to see.
Heartbreaking from Julia Hahn as she attempted to punish that One of the rare instances that V-Reverse was actually good.
Yeah, not to be fair, I mean, get out of jail free card mid-screen. What are you going to do to it? The fact that she had the foresight to think of something and then attempt it in game to punish, and she was maybe too fast.
Yeah,
really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 30 odd frames active or something. It's like nearly 30 frames active, but it just sailed through.
Here's what's funny for me. How is it in a situation as unique and as rare as that that a claw player is still absolutely ready on the first frame to slide? It's just like instinctive. He was probably imagining it like, I don't think this is going to work, just in case it doesn't. Because if I hold down, it should go both ways. Oh, yes! Yes, I won. Warlord status confirmed.
Huzzah! Excellent stuff. Shout out to Bolt Strike and Julia Hard in that one. Well, it's up to you people at home to decide. Jump onto Twitter and get your vote in on the polls on Capcom Fighters. You can see those clips again and pick your favourites. One must be chosen. And we'll be back on the next show with more clips, courtesy of High Fights.
Big up High Fight.
We're going to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back on the other side looking at SFL preseason this week. You'd have seen it just before the show. The main event, of course, 801 Strider versus Punk, and we also had a preliminary match as well that we're going through. Shout out to Toy. Nice to see Toy getting involved.
Good to see him getting back.
Of course, also we have looking at the two charity events that happen on the West Coast as well. A lot of West Coast action on the show.
It's been thoroughly entertaining,
we've got Alpha Check. Shout out to Danny Pham. Shout out to Punk. And we have the Adorama charity event that happened as well. Loads of exciting stuff to go through. Loads of footage to check. Loads of highlights for you. We'll be back on the other side of this short break. Don't go anywhere.
I'll take you downtown. Boom! That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
Let's have some fun.
Let me zap you. Here we go. Whip up! That's that!
Terrific wing!
My unveiling. I will be exposed to the entire world. When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am. Call me Lord and Emperor.
God's will. Time to return to harmony. Terrific wing!
My perfection does not require any training.
Beyond the battle.
Get ready.
Destroy. Begin.
Let's go.
Disappear. Kneel. strength to crush the spirit of the king.
Alright! I really like to exercise. And training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death, vile insect. Witness the power of the continental. This is the power of the king.
Paraneuro device expansion completed. Pseudo personality asset is imported properly. Biological brain connected. Dawn unit 0. Startup sequence will begin.
Well now, little piece of junk. Time to wake up.
Dawn unit 0. Activate.
Well, Jory, who is a piece of junk? Show me something worth taking. Your data is now useless. Witness the power of the content engine. This is the power of the king! Your data will reside in me for eternity.
Hey, good evening. What's going on? Thank you for joining us here. It's Fighting Words, the weekly show where we round up the world of Street Fighter 5. Obviously focusing on the CPT, which is in full swing right now. We've gone past the halfway point.
all round, baby.
If you missed the start of the show, you've missed exclusive interview with the champ, Smug, who's booked his place there in Capcom Cup. We had some great analysis, some of the hype moments in the tournament. But it's time to move on now. And we're going to look at the SFL preseason invitational exhibition matches that have been going on, of course, here on Capcom Fighters. If you missed that, you can check the archives. 2 cool matches.
Yeah, I think they were both great matches. Actually, I'm just loving the banter between the players.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see some of the talented players that don't often get a lot of the spotlight used here in the undercard? Yeah, the undercard.
Yeah,
that's a fair way of putting it together.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the great thing about this showcase, and we've seen what it's done in the past weeks with some of the close matches we had. It was Brian F. and who's the Nakali player? That was a super tight set as well. So yeah, we got
Psycho.
That was it. Yeah. So we got Just a Kid taking on a toy.
That's right.
Which is quite a fun one to watch. Just a Kid going through a transition, I guess you could say. He has been playing Seth for a while, but he is a jury player.
It didn't look like he'd been playing Seth for a while.
I didn't want to say it, Just a Kid. I didn't want to say it.
Well, it's okay because he's going to get some new costumes soon. It's looked like from the Street Fighter Creator Costume Competition.
Yeah.
Looks like Jury's doing pretty well. And
actually, I'm pretty confident that in the SFL they may just, even though he's not playing Jury, they may just ban Jury just to make him play Seth. Just because they're
he's not in SFL, bro.
If he was in SFL, they'd ban Jury just to make him play Seth. That's the kind of level, though, unfortunately, that the Seth is at right now. But it's early days. It's early days. He could develop that Seth. And of course, he's up against a guy who's playing his main.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
He's been playing Bison for how long?
Very competent, very well experienced Bison.
Extremely experienced.
Throwing it all the way back, though. I don't know if it's a throwback or if he's going for like the dirty online tactics, circa like Picoro.
The V-Trigger 1,
the V-Skill 1. Sorry, no, it was actually V-Skill 1, wasn't it? Yeah,
it wasn't V-Skill 2.
It wasn't V-Skill 2.
What's the optimal online?
It was literally back in the day, Bison. Vanilla Bison, if you will. Some interesting points there. Seth has a plethora of anti-air options. Very, very strong anti-air options. But you can't rely on them in all instances against Bison's Devil Reverse, which is ironic, right?
I found that set extremely ironic.
Having trouble anti-airing.
Yes, that's what it looked like.
Against another character.
Poetic
you
justice.
love to see it, don't you?
Especially a character that traditionally isn't great at anti-airing as well. So, it was beautiful. It was poetry in motion to see a Seth suffering. Sorry, Just the Kid, to take pleasure in your defeat. If you played Jury, though, we'd all be like crying at your loss. But no one's going to be crying when Seth loses.
I want to get behind the Jury player.
I'm waiting.
There were a couple of nice moments. It was cool to see V-Trigger 1 out on use again for Bison. I have to say, it's always enjoyable. The old dash ruse.
It's a great look. I think he did a slide underneath and then dash over to the other side and it hit. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it looked like it was some kind of setup. That was a good set. I really did. I thought Toy dealt with the anti-air game really well from his side.
Yeah,
he just took to the air every time.
Yeah, there's a lot of jump back air to airs,
which takes more concentration. But he had that concentration on lock, and he was just eliminating the variation right from that point. And at times when he's jumping back, the dive kick's just whiffing. He's giving up some space, but at least he's not getting caught. As you saw in the following set, where the dive kick was getting a lot more mileage. Punk versus 801 Strider. But yes, a convincing victory for Toy, but Just a Kid in transition. I'd like to see what that Seth's like in a few months' time.
Yeah. I mean, he performed reasonably well this weekend in NA East. Didn't make it that far, but made a good account of himself. I like Just a Kid. He's a good, talented kid.
Very talented kid, yeah. I've played him a fair bit as well.
Really, really great attitude. And I feel like he deserves a season where Jury's like good.
He's been loyal for long enough, hasn't he?
You know what I mean?
And he's starting to now, the loyalty's starting to fade a little bit.
What happened to the Rashid, though?
Well,
like Rashid fell by the wayside, he had enough, and just thought, Seth, everyone else is doing it, I may as well.
Yeah, he's becoming very popular, isn't he? I don't know, Rashid, he's kind of just slept on right now. I think we need tournaments back ASAP because I think people are sleeping.
I think online, Rashid's still like super good.
Yeah, but he's just, I don't know, just not seeing that many Rashids in these tournaments at the moment. We'll see, maybe when we get to Asia, there's a few more Rashids there, see how they do. In some of these matchups. But what did you think of the following set that took place afterwards?
Yeah, so of course the main event was Punk versus 801 Strider. I know it was Punk and not Pink because using the nostalgia costume in that colour. Obviously a super serious set. They were taking this very seriously.
Oh yeah.
Like,
completely.
Playing to the fullest.
Heated.
Strider definitely wasn't dropping combos.
Hell no.
Punk wasn't trolling at all at any point.
No way. No, very seriously taken set. Yeah. Having said that, Punk has pretty much got a legitimate Seth that he's going to be bringing to tournaments, though.
Oh, definitely. He's been doing work with that Seth. We'll see that.
Seth is causing all sorts of problems. Yeah. But man, he was getting medium every time. Why was it always trying to crouch in all the time? I guess he's trying to do the crouch jab maybe for the neutral, but the fact that Seth, when he hits you crouching with that dive kick, the instant air one, and he gets a medium, and the target combo reaches from miles away.
Yeah, it's long.
Corner carry as well. Oh man, it was painful to watch. I love the fact that AO Strider was arguing with him about the cancel into the wheel kick that he took off him with the V-Skill.
You can't. There's no mashing, bro.
And he was like, I just made that up. And he's like, yeah, but it's legit, man. He's like, no, man. I could just be a wild man and mash.
Like jump short and then jump short again. That was a perfect.
That was. Is that like that, Punk?
Yo, this man. Damn, he went for the fake. The fake is a.
I mean, it's technically real. You can't mash out of that. You only can tech.
Man, what if I was a madman? I did mash.
What if I was a madman and I did that mash?
That was a fun set. I'm loving, like I said, I'm loving the fact they got the dynamic. We can hear the players talking to each other. Bit of trash talk. This is what happens. A lot of you guys think that a lot of these players are like, super like serious and always in focus mode. This is what happens when you go to these sessions in these offline environments and these guys are playing each other. They are talking smack. A lot of that. A lot of banter.
I love the fact that it's mic'd up. It makes it so much more entertaining.
Brilliant. Love it. Yeah.
So much more entertaining. Of course, we'll get that in Street Fighter League.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
Because the players are marked up. You learn that Punk is definitely a punk and will happily reset you like he did with that super. He could have ended the round with a super. And then he just said, no, all right, I'm just going to chip you out because you can't do anything.
I'll end the round now. Yeah. It really is checkmate versus Seth when you got that. And the thing is, he spent his V-trigger and he spent his meter for the super.
Yeah.
Once Seth puts you in block stun, and we saw the same with Toy versus Just the Kid. Just the Kid was like, "You're dead, bro." Just take. But you might as well block it out and make him spend the CA if there's another round. Make him spend it at least. But yeah, there you have it. Yeah, good fun.
It is. It's very enjoyable. We've got more weeks to come, of course, as we lead into SFL. I think the Japanese SFL is starting up real soon. I saw a tweet about that end of the month. So obviously we've got more shows to come here. So as that progresses, we'll be looking at that as well. Super exciting. Some real high-level players involved in Japanese SFL. As always, that's going to be good. Good value. I'm really going to be looking forward to pulling that apart. But the fun rolls on in the SFL preseason. Shout out to Vicious and Steve.
Having a blast, aren't they?
Definitely.
Loving seeing them have so much fun, man. Big up them guys.
Let's keep it moving, though. Let's get into 2 events that happened on the West Coast this past week, and 2 events for a good cause. We had Alpha Check and the Adorama online tournament. Let's start off with Alpha Check. Alpha Check was an event organised by Danny Pham.
Yep, big up Danny Pham.
And linked up with Punk. It was on Punk's channel. And Justin Wong
Big
got
up
involved.
Justin, man. Great to see him on
the commentary. It was for a good cause, helping out 2 really talented young players from the West Coast, Mario and Luigi DB, who in a bit of tough times and needed some support. The community came through with over $10,000 in donations. It's wonderful to see,
you guys.
These community initiatives. Throwing back to the start of this show, we I think it was on the 2nd week that we looked at Transitional Combat by Amanda Stevens, again pulling in over 10,000 for Trans Lifeline. I know Amanda's doing another event as well. I think she's doing one for students, helping young students in need get textbooks. And I believe there's something coming together for Black Lives Matter as well. So that'd be awesome. And speaking of Black Lives Matter, big up Celtic Throwdown. That's going to be happening the end of this month as well. And they're going to be supporting equality justice in America, which is a great cause. We're going to be in top 8 on that on Street Fighter 5, aren't we?
A bit of fun. Yeah.
Just
like the good old days.
Just give us the mic for a change.
Just give me the mic.
But yeah, that's coming up. What is it? September the 22nd?
There's a few dates actually for it, but I think our date is 27th or 28th.
Yeah.
We're coming.
It's coming soon anyway. Don't forget, follow at Celtic Throwdown for information on that. But let's talk about Alpha Check. It was not a tournament, so to speak. It was more of an exhibition. As is the format of Heat Check, which
I've got to say as well,
put together.
To add to what you said, 10k raised, over 10k raised. But boy, oh boy, did we get our money's worth for freaking
Definitely.
Sets. Oh my goodness. This was like some of the most fun, high-level play. And these guys were not holding back.
Yeah.
Like, these guys were playing, It was like incredible sets for but please continue.
Yeah, so we're going to split up the action into 2 different videos. Let's kick off with the first one. And look, there was a lot of exclamation points made during this Alpha Check event.
Indeed.
Letting people know that their wins were legit.
Legitimate.
Yeah? There were no flukes here. So let's get into this first clip. It is the team tournament, which had the captains, Mario and Luigi, picking players from a pool of 6. And you had Team Mario, which is Chris CCH, Alex Myers, and Commander Jesse. Oh, thank you.
That's crazy. I thought my phone was on silent. And imagine that. Mario, I get a notification. Sorry, let me put it on my phone. So unprofessional, but so appropriate.
Crazy. And Team Luigi, is your phone going to go, wah?
That's so funny.
Team Luigi, which was Nephew, Samurai, and JB. In the end, the result was somewhat one-sided. I'll let you see that. But also, there was an exhibition match, which is going to kick off this footage, between the reigning champ of Capcom Cup, Idom, and the recently qualified out of NA East 1, Mandrake, going head-to-head in a first to 5. This one was super hype. Incredible play from both sides. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Enjoy.
Check it out. It's the highlights.
Really nice anti-air. I'm jumping a lot. I wonder why. Is he that scared of Urian's fire? Ooh, the low forwards. Looking like Karen.
I guess maybe because Idom doesn't have the meter yet to go through the fireballs, that he's just scared.
Oh my god, the
buffer
there.
so
Once
cheap.
again, the buffers.
Ooh!
Ooh! That was the greens, beans, potatoes.
Oh,
we got God mode. We got God mode. 7 guesses.
Yeah,
that's one. This is good for Mandrake. Oh no. Oh. Ooh, that was sick. Oh, he's dead. Damn, that was such a good walk-up medium punch. Yo, why is this just going back and forth like this?
2 Capcom Cup qualifiers in the East so far.
Okay, nice buffer right there. Second.
Ooh.
Backdash and anti-air again.
Bro, how many jump-ins have we caught? Oh, my counter hit confirmed. Let's go.
Oh, that's plus.
That's me.
Ooh,
That's me. Ooh, no whip,
the
baby.
space traps. Oh man, Mandrake is playing kind of good.
Do something red.
Oh, there we go.
That was a disrespectful way to win. Man slapped him.
God mode, hold on.
He can't cancel this low forward, but I feel like there's mad damage just coming from raw low forwards. Oh no.
That's what I was talking about. That safe buffer.
Let's go. No, no, dude.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Oh no.
The double backdash to bait the EX shoulder. Stop. This is even.
But since you end up picking poison,
you got like that library.
Bro, he's really ready for items like big.
oh, let's see. Here we go, Justin.
It might be.
Well,
Oh. Oh, what? What? Bruh, how did she hit the fireball? Oh my god, then the overhead.
Man, that's not fair.
How did she hit the fire? What part of her body touched that mirror?
He 100% Laura just from light. You understand that, right?
What are you gonna do against the nephew? Look at this. Look, Chris don't know. Oh my god.
Let's go. Let's go rain him. Go rain him.
Why'd you backdash? We gonna guess right. Look, I told you. Oh! What's going on? Ice.
Yeah, you're not trying to block the ice against Colin.
Yeah, not really. Not in that situation.
Guaranteed situation.
Oh no.
Ooh, dash up. Turn gets a counter hit as a reward. Does he DP again? Oh,
one more guess.
He should be dead. He should be. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey.
Might not need it. Oh, yep, right here.
Nah, he gonna Ronda Rousey. EX there for sure. Yeah, this spot against Colleen is so hard for Karen when.
Again?
Yo, look at the damage. Gosh.
Uh-oh.
What? Nah, Nephew styling. He's styling. He knew he wanted to sweep activate.
That's a hard combo because you gotta like jump cancel there or something, right?
Big Neff.
No, not that. Not just doing that. You jump cancel when you do jab, stand, medium punch.
Okay.
Oh, he burned it all. Oh no, he still has one more.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't like when he burns it because it's like he only gets that.
That's all you get now.
Yeah, corner control here. Nephew not taking any tech baits.
Oh my god. Oh, that was a crucial tech.
I wonder if he did the stab, would it have count? Oh.
Is that dead?
No,
it's not dead.
Guess for game though.
Gonna wake up. Oh, nice block!
No way.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that crossed up. I actually have no clue.
Bro, the deep
that was good.
Don't throw fireballs.
Oh no,
He's
not that.
-2. Yo, he really tried to kill with that?
It's actually, this is really good for Myers. This is his favor.
Yo, stand hard punch, bro.
That reach?
Medium kick.
That hit her in the shins. That's crazy.
If Nephew takes this is a good statement for both of the Capcom Cup qualifiers for this year, right? Mandrake takes it over Idom, and Nephew's about to OCV an entire West Coast team.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Nephew is actually in Idom's group too.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, Nephew and Idom are in the same group.
Okay. Oh, that was cute. I like the little crouch jab right there, too.
Dude, all this pressure, man. You can definitely tell, just like
EX hell.
He literally did a block string from each corner to another corner, bro.
That was kind of like G, right? Getting a taste of his own medicine.
That's true. I mean, this is where he transforms into Q, bro, and then he becomes whack.
Nah, bro. If he used the taunt, don't he power up? He just got a taunt.
Oh, here we go, fireball.
A reminder: the winner of this team tournament gets 840 headsets each, and the losing team gets 810s. Right, Justin?
Yep. But
what? That far?
Oh my god!
But both the captains will get 840.
Well, that is the end of the team tournament.
And there you have it. Alpha Check really setting the pace with some incredible sets and an amazing team tournament and some extremely funny moments. But man, let's kick it off first and foremost with Mandrake putting that exclamation mark on that victory against Idom. What did you think of that set, Logan?
Yeah, brother. He played really, really well. For me, like when I watch Mandrake play, and I've played Mandrake in a few casual sets. Obviously, I'm not very good, but you can
feel it.
I know how to feel it. His auto spacing traps are some of the best in Urians. I feel like they have been for a while, and he really was incredible with these against Idom. You know, forcing him to try and check and interrupt. And putting the pressure on him as well. Like, auto spacing traps don't work unless you make your opponent want to take their turn, right? And he was really good at that. His dash game was great. His fireball game was great with that V-Skill 2, really putting that to use. Very impressed by that. And damn, the scrambles with the Aegis.
Man, really good in the scrambles. And I'll tell you one thing that's really important. I mean, Idom had some incredible moments too, right? But it's really important, if you can, and it's so easy to say this as opposed to do it, is to put Idom's game on him, is to rush Idom down if you can, right? He did that really well when he needed to as well.
But I'm still baffled as to how he converted that back throw into the Aegis. Like, as confused as Punk was, I'm even more confused how that. And he was ready with the full crouch fierce thing into the juggle. It was mad. So
these Urians just lab the hell out. The reward when you do the labbing in that thing. He did another one in the NA East when he won as well. In the Urian mirror, I can't remember the exact scenario, but this guy has all the conversions ready, man. And you think you're alive, you're not. And if you are alive, you're in another mix-up. And that's just, but actually, in terms of high-level set and me learning about the matchup, that was incredible. What a delight to have Idom versus Mandrake in a situation like this where we're still waiting for Capcom Cup. We've got a little bit of a taste of it.
And an extended set as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. Although the team tournament wasn't particularly extended because Samurai JB and Luigi just had fun.
Boss up,
watching as Nephew put the work in with a clean sweep. 4-0.
He's I mean, look, it's easy to say this from the outside looking in because obviously the results are there, but I do feel like this situation he's in right now, he's kind of like unlocked another level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too consistent now, right? I mean, these are guys that, you know, Chris CCH and he was saying he was really having trouble against these guys just a few months ago, and all of a sudden, I'm not saying he's going to dominate against them every time, but I feel like it's now uphill for them, right?
Well, you can see, if you watch his match against Commander Jesse from those highlights, like, some of the stuff that he'd worked on, clearly, and he utilized to win NA West, like, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's drilled into his muscle memory. You know, the spacing, the awareness to punish, the fireballs, when G whiffs a fireball, you know, V-Trigger activates, skates in, big damage, rinsing the corner pressure as well with the EX hail, nothing you can do about that.
Screen as well,
he's just looking so strong. And again, we'll talk about the next set that came up as well, because Nephew played an exhibition as well against a player that he historically has had a great record
Yeah,
against.
he's been very open about that as well.
He played Samurai in this set coming up. And then we had like the secret main event.
I know.
Which thankfully wasn't a grudge match. It was super good.
No, it was loads of love there.
And I'm happy to say that the connection was fine.
Yeah, the connection was fine. Yeah.
So let's look at the second half of the action. It's Nephew versus Samurai in another run back. And the run back of all run backs, Punk versus Alex Myers.
Thank
Two
you so
first to
much.
fives. Let's look at the highlights and we'll talk about this on the other side.
Trash.
Geef is trash. Buff Geef.
EXDP.
Ooh.
Nice.
Why can't he take you to the corner like that, brother? Come on.
Oh my god.
Look at the stun on that too.
Why the Demon Flip be trading with all anti-airs?
Bro, Demon Flip is a really good move.
Really good? That's... Nah.
Hold up.
That's
We
not
gotta be
enough
triggered
credit,
too,
Justin.
I mean, it's very, very, very good. Bro, look at Akuma, bro. Akuma has been training. He's been in quarantine just like all of us, bro.
You
He's
see the
been
hair?
training.
The hair is crazy on Akuma.
Yeah. Okay, B reversal.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There you go.
That's pretty much a 10-0 matchup at that point. Colleen not getting back in.
Pressing the stop sign buttons, huh?
Oh
my god, the moment he tried to do fireball, then he smells it.
Oh my
He's
god.
like,
Air fireball?
no.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, dash.
He caught him off guard.
Oh. Alright, okay, Punk with the whiff punish with the stand medium punch.
What's Karen's answer if Myers just starts spamming the stand hard punch? Hey, that shit right there, right?
Yeah, Punk could whiff punish that. Punk could whiff punish that if he just takes the step back in the situation.
Yeah, medium punch buffer.
Yeah, and then the super can punish that. Stand field. Oh, not anymore, right? I think it's because it changed the frame data -4 instead of -5. Okay, guess for game for both sides.
Oh my
god! No, that combo is such a good combo from that crouch light punch. Like a counter combo from that situation is like really rewarding. Nice back dash. Here we go. Over throw.
Just threatening the walk speed. Oh, that's dead, right?
He's gonna spend if he spends the bar, and he does spend the bar.
Yeah, threatening the crouch medium kick, threatening the Rekkas, and Punk just uses the walk speed just to walk up grab. Pressure is pretty insane.
Yeah,
one round piece.
Oh, missed the confirm. Okay. Goes to the throw. This might be it. It's game. He's dead. Yo!
That's good games.
Good, yo, Myers. Myers, Chun-Li.
Two awesome sets. Nephew setting pace, bruv. Last game, last round, 4 seconds on the clock. Last hit. Nephew takes it 5-4 over Samurai.
What a set.
Put an exclamation mark on that victory. And yeah, it wasn't a dominating win.
No.
But it's shown now that before, when Nephew didn't have a great track record against Samurai, he's at least on parity.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's up there now. I think, maybe before when we were overlooking Nephew a bit, to be honest, as a favourite in that tournament.
So did you say we?
Yeah, because you did as well, bro.
I called out Nephew.
No, you didn't.
I called out.
I'm not having this nonsense.
Hater.
You're
Run
spoiling the
I will
analysis.
find the freaking clip.
You're going to find the phone call with you from 2017 where
I said
stop
a long time ago.
Stop it. Let me make my point.
Watch out for Nephew.
Let me land it, bro. Come on, calm down.
Keep it 100% real, and I'll let you land it. Yeah.
Let me land it.
All right, go.
Whereas we're looking more at players like Punk and Samurai to take the tournament, Nephew has proven more than once now that he is at that level.
Absolutely.
Where he is a real serious contender, and people are going to have to really consider him a threat at Capcom Cup.
Absolutely agree. And I feel like, dare I say it, there were some things I saw in that set that were arguably even better than when he won a few weeks ago. So I feel like he's actually even getting better as he goes on. But take nothing away from Samurai, because despite how much Nephew's improving, Samurai's right there on his neck, trying to get that dominating sequence again. Unable to get it this time, but what a killer he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's still continuing winning Wednesday night fights again.
He had another juicy
the other
one,
week.
didn't he? Yep.
So yeah, putting in the graft. And then we had the big run back, and Myers takes it 5-3, looking like clean as well.
Very clean. Yeah, it's a nice pick for him actually, because you know, the Cammy players have never been too fond of the carrying matchup. You'd think it's one that they like because of the anti-air game of carrying's not very strong, but they've never been too fond. It's that ground game and that walk speed makes it really quite uphill, and the damage is just like the damage access is so huge. Chun-Li, however, you know, she can go toe-to-toe, it seems, and Alex Myers looks very comfortable on the ground at many occasions. Loads of good reads as well, and you know what? It wasn't a grudge match, but there was definitely a bit of a have some of that, mate, when he got that.
Yeah, he wasn't mic'd up, was he?
He wasn't mic'd up. If he was,
it would have been like, it would have been, you know, those cool ones like it was in SFL where we can see live both of the players. I would have loved to have seen Myers live as he got that final hit for the KO.
I do love the fact we got to see Punk live as well, where he just held in the salt really well, put a smile on his face. Good games, man. Good games. That was really, I loved it. Brilliant. That was a treat. And this is what I'm saying. This is money well spent to donate to this event, because it is some of the best Street Fighter you're going to see this year. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it.
Great cause. Like I said, man, I'm so happy that the community organised initiatives where we come together to try and help each other out are seeing such great support, even in such difficult times for everybody. You know, like, it's understandable. People might not have as much spare money laying around at the moment. They might not have the confidence that in the future they're going to have access to all the money they're going to need, but people are still coming together and giving, and what an awesome, awesome thing it is. And as you said, you couldn't have asked for better entertainment, better value for your dollar or pound that you donated. Great matches and great entertainment. Let's move on, though, to another charitable event. Of course, we have the Adorama charitable event, which was on this Sunday, actually. Just as the CPT went off air, players were getting involved and getting ready to step up and play the top 12. You saw the likes of Punk and Strider and Nephew mirroring winners as well, doing really good. Very, very impressive performance. Let's get into some of the highlights of that, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Let's check it out. The Adorama invitational event here online. Sajam and James Chen doing the duties. It's nice to hear Sajam on the mic.
It's like Evo all over again, baby. Let's go.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, you have to do that in a matchup like this, especially. Double jump, sniped out of the air. Doesn't take the levels. And this is one of those matchups where levels can be very important for G. Now has the corner, so he gets both. Stun anyway.
Stun City.
And built a bunch of meter as well. This is a really advantageous position for Luigi. This is like maybe worst case scenario for Nephew here.
I mean, you know how we always said in the Street Fighter 4 days that you can expect to get perfected by sets? I mean, it's kind of the same thing with G right now in Street Fighter 5. Every once in a while, you just have those rounds.
Yeah.
But look at this. Nephew was making the comeback here.
No interruption. That's stun.
It started all Luigi, and instantly now, there it is.
A double spear for the kill. Nephew too clean. And one thing I was going to say is, like, Nephew is a player who is extremely patient, right? Make a bad whiff if you're Mario here. So we back the vein.
Vacuum into critical art, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. The
thing. Mario actually essentially took himself out because he set that up perfectly, had the right read, but then just missed with the heavy punch.
Go into the dash up. Sweep back the bait. Samurai needs a couple of big hits here.
Well, here's a good start.
Yeah, that hurts.
All right, but
Bro
that means no more V-trigger, but close to chip death now.
Uh-oh. Oh! Alright, didn't try for a punish because of the range, but this is really scary. Oh, the missed axe kick!
Wow,
no, that's gonna kill!
Almira taking a lead in this set.
Man, oh man. I think, like, not having fear in that scenario is so important, you know? Like, it really sends a message, especially to a player like Nephew who's slow, like, so slow and steady, you know?
Ooh, nice check. And then, yeah, you're not getting out of the corner. You talked about it in match number 1 that we had tonight, I think. Nephew's so good at keeping people from getting out of the corner.
Oh, yeah. You just have to play very patient, and that's what Nephew's doing. Little jab check there. This is a really hard match to win. Yeah. This is a really hard position with that 1 tap left.
Out of the mix-ups a lot, so that's why you see Nephew now. Oh, that's going to hit. Yeah. And the reset into the command throw. Mira can actually double jeopardy Nephew.
Counter hit. That's going to kill.
And she does it! Gets the combo, and Mira has double eliminated Nephew.
But Samurai just very smart, throws a meaty fireball, like really safe, doesn't commit. Oh, that's side switch. That's really bad.
Yep, and now catches the backdash, keeps the pressure going. But again, you know, he was close to stun, but he knows not to go too hard. But actually, he still has that pressure. Oh, and that might do it right there. Burn with
Close.
the red. Yep.
There it is. Like, it's really easy to hit confirm, and it just gives you access to so much screen space where your opponent can't do anything. It's
Right.
very, very good.
It's like Karen and Ibuki, but you don't need to charge it up at the front, you know?
Yeah, that's dizzy. That's the round already.
Oh, man. Samurai can come up with anything. Trying to get, it's like you said, when you're playing and you see that dash and the axe kick, it's so different. And so, you know, he probably backed out and be like, okay, stop falling for that axe kick. Stop falling for that axe kick.
It's so hard to do, though. You know, that's like one of the big issues. And man, look at that. Even the red fireball from the V-Skill giving Seth a knockdown where you normally don't get one there. Oh, man, that's dizzy. That's the round.
This, I mean...
Oh, no.
no.
Oh, no. Yeah. You had to do something, but like at what cost?
Well, here we go. Punk is trying to troll now, and now he misses the Tatsu. Very rare that you see Samurai actually get affected by these things.
This is pretty big.
Punk might be just trying to play with his food right now, and yeah, here we go. Yeah, see, he just wants to do this heavy Tatsu. He wants to troll with this as much as possible.
Oh, is that going to reach on the jump back? Oh my, the snipe from long distance. You're
And
kidding.
your champion. Oh, the Adorama tournament.
The fadeaway jump back fireball from downtown. He's on fire just like that.
Great action there from the Adorama Charity Cup. A great, again, another charity event that was powered by Intel and supporting Stand With Students, which is part of New York Cares, which supports
it's just brilliant. What a
students in New York area that are obviously, you know, going through a lot in these times of COVID. So it's another great cause, helping out people that could really do the helping hand. So shout out to them. And shout out to Panda Global as well, because of course it was in conjunction with them. Speaking of Panda Global, Punk coming through. Sorry, that was Pink. That we saw Punk against
that's his
One Strider.
Identity,
that
right?
was Pink.
Yeah,
that time. That was definitely Pink. You can tell because of the costume.
Of course, everyone knows that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But man, what a dominating performance!
Really phenomenal performance, and some nice standout performances as well.
Absolutely.
I have to give a massive shout out to Mira, taking the leaf out of Eli's book there with the Laura. Mira was like, we were speaking loads about Ibuki when we last hung out.
Yeah.
So this change up to Laura and to take out a guy, to double take out a guy in form like Nephew with Laura, that's a serious level up that she's gone through, man. And you're seeing a few of these players like just edging forward in their game and just becoming absolutely deadly. And I have to confess that, I hate to admit it, but if it wasn't for Eli the Curry, I would be the best commentator player in the world, closely followed by some of the Japanese guys. Of course, I'm better than all those guys. And then, of course, bottom of the list, Tyrant, just after Damascus. But Eli the Curry...
Doesn't Sengan punch you up as well?
Sengan's not a commentator. Doesn't count. He's an actor.
Forget,
actor who commentates occasionally.
Don't forget, you can see Shoei Sengan commentating on the CPT events. More events than F-Word this season, in fact.
Yeah, but he just does that just for fun. He's not really a commentator. Yeah, it's like that guy, but I'm not a rapper. You know, he's not a commentator.
What, Comps?
Yeah, Comps, mate.
The rapper.
No, but seriously impressive stuff from from
Mira had a really good showing in the NA West tournament as well.
Yeah, she had really well. Right? How far did she get again?
I can't remember the finishing, but I just remember.
I remember seeing some names that I was expecting to come through, and I was like, "Yo, Mira, man, she's going in."
Yeah.
So yeah, man, leveling up, man.
That level up live.
It's that it's that COVID-19 level up, man.
Yeah.
People are just at home grinding, but it's not activity; it's productive activity. And I love the fact that a lot of the leading guys out there are going out of their way to say, "Hey, don't train this way, train this way." You know, you're seeing Zaffarino say it. You're seeing 801 Strider say it. You're seeing Brian F say it. There's a way to train where 1 hour is more valuable than 5 if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's starting to pick up on that.
Yeah, I think that kind of thing of coming home, turning the computer on, and just sitting down and playing ranked, because that's all you've got time for.
And I've been the same level for the last 2.5 years.
Like, you're not going in practicing anything.
Not really.
You know, like learning a V-trigger or anything like that. You're not going in and testing out any theories. You're literally just playing to play. And now that people have access to more free time, whether that's, you know, players like Mira or... I'm trying to think, like... Shine travels a bit, but definitely Shine is not as well travelled as like a Punk or a, you know, Problem X or those kind of players at that level that are flying every week. Now that you have that time to really put in the good grind, the level up, the strategy, the mental game is leveling up, and obviously the execution's there because you've been playing online for hours. The execution's already there, but. Boy, let's go to that winners and grand finals. Punk beating Samurai 3-0 in winners finals, 3-0 in the grand finals, closing it out with a sick reaction, super ready.
He had a few of those in the set as well.
Jump back. We pointed it out actually in the analysis section of NA West how effective the air fireballs were for Samurai. How ready was Punk for that?
So ready. And I love this pick for him against Akuma. I mean, Punk plays around a lot, and he's the kind of guy that's so naturally talented at the game that he can sit there and laugh and talk and just play a set, right? He was talking throughout that entire set versus Samurai, you know, while he was playing. You can hear him saying to the other guys, like, man, Samurai's kind of free this weekend. What's going on, you know, while he's playing? But at the same time, I think he is literally legitimized an option for himself in that matchup where Karrion can fight it, but... Not that Seth wins it, but he has some really damaging options that someone of Punk's caliber is going to be able to utilize.
I think the way that he approaches the matchup just works for him, you know, like the start. Seth's got a bunch of viable V-skills, both are viable, and both V-triggers are viable, to be fair.
No, Seth's definitely both V-triggers viable.
But Punk is like enamored with Tandon, right?
He loves it.
That V-skill one, loves it. And in the Akuma matchup, it's a really good pick because that red fireball mid-screen is giving you a good knockdown. And in the corner, as you said, you get chunks. It's
nice
a great conversion.
Yeah.
And of course, Akuma's going to be at that range, especially the way that Samurai plays. It really dissuades Akuma from buffering buttons, which they do a lot, and throwing fireballs at that unreactable range. Akuma's going to have to start making hard read jumps, which he just doesn't have the health for, or playing at a further range where the fireball's just not as effective, because once you start getting into the range at which the fireball doesn't knock down, it's not as good as at all.
Yeah, it's very much more reactable as well from that range too.
And of course, you've got things like heavy spin kick, axe kick, which is being used as well to great effect. Loads of tools that I think work well, and just make the Akuma player have to think twice and change it up. And I know that Samurai's going to go away and think twice and change it up.
He's that kind
and
of player,
come back, and it will go back and forth. The wheels will continue turning, and fortune will favour. We've seen it, Daigo and Takedo. But to quote Punk, it's not a rivalry if the other person doesn't win. So, but I know Samurai's got that in his locker, and he's going to be grinding until that November NA West 2. They're going to be battling it out. It's going to be exciting. But that has been it for us this week.
What an evening.
Yeah,
that's loads of our most detailed show, I think.
It feels like there's been so much to cover, but it's been such a geographic... It's basically all been NA.
Yep.
We will continue to open up because we have EU East and Middle East coming 2 weekends from now. We won't be here next week because there's no CBT event this weekend, but we come back round again. Of course, looking forward to SE Asia. We've got SFL kicking off in Japan as well. SFL soon, hopefully, to start recording as well in North America with some of the international attendees from the rest of the world. Not sure what's going to happen with that in terms of the COVID situation, but we can hope that we be getting some great games for you.
Crossed.
There's a lot of stuff still to come. Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, we won't be here next Thursday because no CPT event, but there will be a SFL preseason, so tune in for that. Thank you very much for joining us. Myself, Logan, Sarah, and F-Words. Take care. Have fun.
People.
Stay safe. Stay grinding. Train smart. Don't train hard.
Until next time.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.